Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Win. That's win. Enter it now.
Go to espnavl.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingle studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God.
All right, I'm going to go try to do it right now. 3, 2.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. And we're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link. Subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. And today, it is day 2 of the NFL draft. Last night, first round of the draft, had a lot of fireworks. And we are hoping that everybody got a screen, filming the screen, like this was going to be a big moment. And then, nope. Every team looked at Shedeur Sanders and went, that's not a first-round quarterback. However, the New York Giants, they saw another first-round quarterback after Cam Ward went number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans, and they got Jackson Dart, trading up to 25.
Look, it was none of that part of this was surprising to me. But I'm a little surprised that Shedeur was not really he was an afterthought. I don't think any of those teams really seriously considered taking him. And I mean that. I don't think any of them looked at him and went, hey, that'll be fun. Let's do that.
Well, nobody told him. Nobody told his dad. And apparently nobody told the NFL or ESPN or whoever covered that last night. Because it was constantly, what's Shedeur doing? Let's go look at Shedeur.
Who cares what Shedeur
Let's
does?
watch Shedeur. I felt like it was Taylor Swift all over again. Like, he is irrelevant right now. I mean, when teams are up, like when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were on the clock, they flipped over at some point to go, let's go look at Shedeur. Why? He's completely irrelevant to the number 19 pick. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not taking a quarterback, and there's no chance that Shedeur Sanders is going on here. Why are we doing this? It's all smoke screens. It's always all been smoke screens. And you listen now to guys like Dan Orlovsky, right? I saw a clip of him this morning trying to kind of explain this away. And how did Shedeur Sanders fall? And then he shows tape, and he goes, look at that. Do you see this guy on a 3rd and 7 took a sack, and now it's 4th and 32? That's not something an NFL quarterback can do.
Look,
you can't afford that.
It's not hard. If you watch the tape on Shedeur Sanders, it's incredibly obvious that he has terrible feet. He's completely immobile. Oh, and then there's the other stuff. That he shows up to the combine with a chain on that's about, I don't know, the size of my laptop, interrupting other guys' media availability, and every team in the NFL saw it. You got your answer. There's no doubt you got your answer on Shedeur. Every team in the NFL had a shot at him. They all went, you know what?
Yep.
We're better off with what we have.
And you know, it's just, Dion is such an over-the-top character that he has created like this media, he's created like a viral prospect, right? He's only good on social media. He's only good off the field.
He's not good off the field. He's not good off the field. He's terrible off the field. That's why he's sitting.
No, I'm saying when
am I going to get drafted?
No, I'm like, when I say off the field, I mean like in marketing. Like that's I guess the best thing that Shedeur Sanders brings to the table. And that doesn't win football games. And so every team can tell that.
It is about as easy to figure out with him as I have ever seen. That teams just look at Shedeur and go, I don't want to deal with a headache. I don't want to deal with a headache. I don't want to deal with the fact that he's going to be the most vocal person in the room. I don't want to deal with the fact that his dad's going to be here, and it's not a damn vendetta. I've heard this 1,000 times in the last 24 hours. If you think there's a vendetta against Shedeur Sanders or Deion Sanders, you are a moron. Mm-hmm. And that is the nicest way I can put that. Yep. One of the greatest players that ever played in this league. It would have been awesome for his son to go first last night. It would have been better for the league than Cam Ward. Not close. Because of what you said. The marketing opportunities would have been crazy.
Yep.
The problem is that you put on the tape and you go, that kid's not good. Mm-hmm. That kid's not good. His feet are not good. He's not been coached well. He's not fun to have in the room. I've had the quote that came out from the coach in the NFL that said that was the worst interview I've ever done. I've heard that no less than 25 times. From guys in very quiet rooms that go, it was bad. For as bad as you think it was worse than we're saying it was. Right. Because we don't want to say how bad it was. That he came in here and absolutely destroyed his draft stock. Because he can't stop talking. He can't stop talking. He can't do it.
Well, it's because that's it, because it's in him. That's who he is. Well, that's how he was raised. That's what he was grown into.
Well, and I woke up thinking about this morning. I was laying in bed, and people on YouTube, we know that there's some buffering issues. We're trying to work it out. When you move a full setup 2 times in the same day, there's going to be some clunky. So we'll work through it here. We're getting there as quick as we can. We apologize. I woke up this morning, and what I couldn't stop thinking about was Deion's most patented line ever. You play good, or you look good, you play good. Mm-hmm. You play good, they pay good. Shedeur got to 1. Mm-hmm. Because the kid looks good. Kid looks like an NFL quarterback.
Yep.
The problem is that you don't play good. And you talk like you do. I saw a clip last night because we were back here at the Snake Island Pleasure Club decompressing after night 1 of the draft.
Yep.
And I was watching interviews that Shedeur had done in the media over the course of the pre-draft process. And it was like he couldn't stop himself. He couldn't stop himself from somebody asked him, who's the GOAT athlete? Shedeur Sanders. Dude, you're not the GOAT Colorado quarterback. Mm-mm. You're not the best
Cordell
quarterback
Stewart.
in your program's history. You haven't won a damn thing anywhere you go. Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Which is why most of us think it's the dumbest idea on the planet to do this crap like we're retiring his jersey. Wait a minute. He's not an all-time great of anything, except for maybe, arrogant jackasses. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's about the best I got. This guy is top 5 all-time. What is it, the phrase that you use, Jeremy? Wish I could sell him for what he thinks he's worth.
Wish I could buy him for what he's worth, sell him for what he thinks.
There you go. Because he ain't worth it. He ain't worth all the trouble, all of the pomp and circumstance, all of the flash, all of the glitz, all of the media viral bull crap doesn't mean a thing to an NFL GM. And last night was proof of it. Because if any of that crap mattered, he would have been number 1 overall. Right? If style and arrogance and all of that, the forward-facing guy, face of the franchise kind of stuff, if all of that mattered without serious play, good play behind you to back it up, sure, he'd have been number 1 overall. But he can't bring a team to the point of, now this guy is going to help us win. Now this guy's going to help us win a championship.
I can't wrap my head around how a kid was this irrelevant in the grander scheme of things. And he was the narrative of last night. Mm-hmm. There were so many things. Last night was probably the most interesting first round I've ever seen in its incredible boredom. Last night was a clunky first round where so the media contest last night, the guy that won it got 8 picks right last night.
8.
I got 4. And now we don't want to talk about where I finished because it was scroll all the way to the bottom and just look up a few. And it wasn't good. Because I did that thing, and I told Tank this, I told a lot of people this. The thing that I'm afraid of in projecting this draft is I'm afraid there are teams that I'm undervaluing how easy it would be for their GM to get skewed. Mm-hmm. And that's why I thought Shedeur was going last night. And I really did. I thought there would be a team that would come back into the back half. I thought it was New York Giants when they traded up. And then the Giants surprised me. Mm-hmm. Because the Giants did something way smarter than I thought. And I see Randy L in our YouTube comments has said, the Browns really like Tyler Shuck. Mm-hmm. Here's the problem for Shedeur, and I think this could be a really long problem today. I knew of one team that liked him. Joe Shane, and I hate to reference the movie Draft Day, but I'm going to. Joe Shane basically lived in Boulder, Colorado last year. He was at every single Colorado Buffalo home game. Mm-hmm. And he took Jackson Dart.
Yep.
And now every team in the league is going, we didn't like the tape in the first place. This dude basically shut down his whole life for 4 months and still wound up taking another quarterback.
Yep.
So how bad must this actually be?
Was it the last game of Colorado's season that he wore the Giants cleats?
That was the bowl game.
Oh, that was the bowl game. Okay.
That was the bowl game. I mean, it was.
It should tell you everything you need to know. If you were a Shedeur Sanders believer or a Shedeur Sanders truther going into last night should not be, to me, it should not be the chip on the shoulder moment that Shedeur was talking about when he had his tail between his legs and was having to give the concession speech.
Look,
to his draft party.
Shedeur handled last night way better than I would have thought he would.
You thought he would? Did you think he was going to like pitch fit?
I thought he'd hide
and be dejected.
I thought he would. Yeah. When the Giants took somebody else, I honest to God thought he would hide. And he didn't. Now his dad was pouting, and it was very obvious. But this is one of those.
Well,
times.
it's easier.
I swear to you, I went back this morning. I read my eval on Eli Manning, and I'm going to rehab the same line that I said about Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to say it right here because I've seen some really smart people say some really, really dumb stuff today about this. Eli Manning would have been a third-round pick if his name was Eli Smith. Shedeur Sanders would have, and now I'm going to push this on to Shedeur. If Shedeur Sanders' name was Shedeur Smith, there would not have been a camera in his house last night. We would not have talked about the fact he had not been drafted yet, not one time. Mm-hmm. So you can say there's a vendetta against Dion and Shedeur, and it's not a vendetta. You did this to yourself. I have no sympathy for you whatsoever. Now you're getting a big old spoonful of humble pie. The question is what you do with it. Because, I've seen this before. It happened to Aaron Rodgers. I watched it in live time for 4 hours. It's the most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers took that and it motivated him for the better part of the next 15 years. If that happens to Shedeur, you got a shot. If all you want to do is sit in a corner and whine that you didn't go in the first round, you're doomed before you ever get picked by a team.
Yeah. He knows what to say. That's all that told me last night. Because it's easy to get up in front of your friends. Right? Everybody in that room, he knew. He knew everybody in that room. That was all his friends. That was all his family. You can swallow it enough for that. Coming out to the public, that's going to be my neck. That's going to be my true test. What does he look like at the introductory press conference?
There were a lot.
How does he handle that spotlight? Because whenever he goes today, because he will go at some point today, somebody will take a bite at the apple.
I don't know who. I don't know who. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a team that surprises you. Because all right, so look at the teams that still need quarterbacks.
Right.
All right, Pittsburgh Steelers need a quarterback. Mm-hmm. Out. They're out on Shedeur. Mm-hmm. There is a point where the value they'll go, okay, we're good now. I just don't know where that is. Cleveland's out. They like Shuck. They had the first pick tonight. They can do whatever they want to.
Right.
The Giants have already taken a quarterback. Mm-hmm. The Saints were out on Shedeur. Now, they like Dart, from what I understand. They just weren't comfortable taking it at 9. By the way, big ups to the Saints for just going, hey, your draft board's stupid. We're going to take Kelvin Banks because we need an offensive tackle. Sweet.
That was a good pick.
For sure.
That was a good pick
For
last
sure.
night. The Raiders.
The Raiders are the team to watch. If the Raiders don't take him, this could be a long day for him.
The Raiders pick at 5 at number 37 overall. So there's an opportunity for him to come off the board there. Then you have the Jets.
Jets won't take him.
Which they won't. I can't really foresee them doing that with Justin. You've told me that they're heavy
all
on
in.
Justin.
They're all in on Justin Fields. They're
Right.
not going to take anybody that takes the shine away from him.
Dallas Cowboys at 12. Please do that. Please do that.
That's the one I keep looking at.
I'm throwing a bone to Dion because I'm going to have Dion come be my coach after we prove after 1 year that this ain't going to happen.
Yeah, stop with the Dion's going to be the coach. Dion's not going to be the coach of any team in the NFL. Yeah, and you know what? Same reason his kid didn't get drafted last night. Because I really don't want my coach to be the biggest loudmouth in the league.
No doubt.
You were a great player, and it made you a great player. It does not make you a great coach.
After that, you're right. I mean, it could be
hard
a long,
to figure out.
Long wait.
If the Raiders don't take Shedeur, this will be a long day for him. Now, we've talked about the thing that doesn't matter.
Yes.
And he doesn't matter. I hate to tell you this. The four-letter acronym on our wall. He doesn't matter. And the NFL proved it last night. So now we're going to take the 32 guys who actually did get selected last night, who actually do matter.
Exactly. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll be right back.
Cactus sofa. Nothing feels good.
Clear.
And forget trying to.
I sent you a picture of the error messages shooting. I renamed the file. I did like everything I know to do. So I just took a picture of everything else is uploaded to the drive. But
the relief you need. They've already treated tens of thousands of patients around the country with regenerative treatments that help calm that debilitating joint pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. The consultation is totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now at 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. QC Kinetics.
ESPN Asheville, broadcasting from the Ingalls studio at Radio Ranch. Log on to espnavl.com and make us your #1 preset on the iHeartRadio app. ESPN Asheville, #1 for sports coverage in the mountains.
I think it's just vapor.
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
One vape pod has as much nicotine as 1 pack of cigarettes. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Tariffs and your money? Well, we just
2 minutes
on the most recent episode of the How to Money podcast.
Yep. Let's say you do live in a state
on
great, but don't invest those dollars once you put them in.
We're all
investing
in a 529 plan.
You talking to me or him?
Advantage money to grow.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Spend them.
All right, I thought you were talking to him. Yeah, did you see it?
Money is here to help.
What's wrong with it?
How to Money and start listening today.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At
Okay.
WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers and a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't properties. It's about
I took out
me today. Clarissa Marshall at 828-774-63.
How do I delete all the stuff from the title?
Here for what matters most.
I went in to rename the file and it wouldn't let me change the title.
Of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community.
Oh, that's why. Okay. I just tried to rename it and then
like Jeff and Chris, who led a Ford commercial vehicle.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, everything else is up, so they hopefully won't ride you.
First responders. Nominate your community hero at.
Hopefully Temple won't be incredibly loud because I pulled it out and it was peaking.
Hendersonville.com.
But you usually don't change that, do you, Temple?
Where the best organic or natural products are waiting for you. Where the fields are filled with flavorful delights. And every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme, that can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
I'm just living the dream.
I'm unapologetic.
3, 2.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. The Sportsocracy live at the mansion in Wisconsin, the Snake Plissken Treasure Trail, or whatever you keep calling it.
It's the you got.
Oh, sorry.
I turned my mic on, or people can't hear me.
Sorry.
It's the Snake Trail Pleasure Club.
That's it. That's the one that he keeps saying. Anyhow,
I want
here
them
in
to change
beautiful.
I want them to change the name of this house to the Snake Trail Pleasure Club. I'm gonna leave a note. I'm actually gonna leave a very vulgar note that's not gonna be vulgar in the book, but I'll know.
Yeah.
Thank you for the falafel shack. Love, unclean Mike and the boys. And I'm 100% doing that.
That could go very bad.
No, yeah, we will never be invited back. Good thing is, I didn't ask.
Anyhow, we are.
I do want to go to the boat scoot.
Yeah.
Go in the boat scoot at the bowling alley. I think that's where we do the after party.
Yeah.
I say we take over Boosie's bowling lane here in Pigeon River, Wisconsin, and we just shots on Tanya. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. She. Never mind. I was gonna say something real.
She was Miss
really
Cheese Curd, 1997.
It is. We are coming to you from one of the smallest towns in Wisconsin. See, this is what I think they actually qualifies as a township. This is not just a town. It's not a city. It's just it's a township. We've got a little village up here on the water where we're staying, and the bowling alley was the only place the other night that was open after 8 o'clock, and I think every member of the PTA was there.
And I'm so sad we didn't go in there. I really am. I would have brought up my tight pants and my cowboy boots, and we'd have boat scooted all night long.
The 2025 NFL Draft last night, the first round, Cam Ward, number 1 overall to the Tennessee Titans, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars traded up to number 2 to get Travis Hunter. Mm-hmm. It was one of my favorite moves of the night.
Okay.
Because you got a more impactful player.
I need you to explain that in real finite detail.
Because you got a potentially more impactful player than you would have at 5. If you'd have taken Mason Graham, yeah, he could be a Hall of Fame defensive tackle. But is that going to win you much?
Is Travis Hunter going to win you much?
He could.
How?
He could be.
How's he going to win you much?
He could make Trevor Lawrence better. He can make the defense better. That's an impactful player.
Okay. You gave up a 2026 first-round pick. Oh, by the way, when you're one of the worst teams in damn NFL, you went, hey, you know what, Trey? I'm Joey Gladstone, and this is like the first big boy decision they've let me make. Hey, I'm going to go get Travis Hunter. Okay, he's the number 1 player in the class. There's a possibility, and I think it's, I'll say 80% likely. The Cleveland Browns have 2 top 5 picks next year.
They could.
Andrew Berry, in one move, saved his job with one trade that's probably going to lead to them winning a game less next year. Because he went, Abdul Carter, no, I'm good. I'm just going to go get Mason Graham, who was the next player on the board.
Yep.
And next year in a draft that's really good on the high side potentially, I'm going to have 2 top 5 picks. The Cleveland Browns got an A+++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++
doing anything today. Today
they have two of the first five,
four.
Two of the first four.
Two of the first 4 picks today. And you have a potential, if you can steer yourself away from Shedeur Sanders, which it seems like everybody was, well, I mean, look what Cleveland did. They made that trade, and now they have the 2 picks in the top 4. That definitely means that they're going to take Shedeur Sanders. Not necessarily.
I do.
Not necessarily, because if they're going to have 2 top 5 picks next year, maybe I just take my chances with whatever's going to happen here, and Arch Manning's sitting there next year. If he's the one, right, even if I'm not the worst team in the league, I've got all the ammo to get back up to 1.
I do apologize to all the people that made wagers on Travis Hunter. I had really good intel that there was a team that was going to trade up for him.
Mm-hmm.
I never in a million years thought it would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. I had been told that Pete Carroll, to Pete Carroll, Travis Hunter was like the definition of a modern day NFL player.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you that made a wager, we'll send you a shirt.
Right.
We're having new shirts.
Jacksonville is that team, though, that, well, we've talked ad nauseum about their ownership and the way that they run this organization. To me, I was not surprised by any of it, and I thought, well, this is down the Jacksonville Jaguar path. We're going to go out and we're going to get an elite player, and we're hopefully going to develop him into something special over the next 4 years, and then we'll trade him away.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Because he'll be ticked off that we haven't won anything.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are the 4 from high school that was a cheerleader that no one paid attention to. And now, as time goes on, they're getting slottier and slottier and slottier in the hopes that somebody will notice them. And now they've gone full kooky Maduki. Because now you have Travis Hunter. All right, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
The 5 best players for the Jacksonville Jaguars right now, who are they?
Oh, geez.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas Jr.
That one's easy.
He's a good one, yeah.
Let's say Travis Hunter is everything possible that they can be high level. That he can be the elite corner, hopefully a good receiver.
The good piece, yeah.
So now you've got Travis Hunter and you've got
Brian Thomas.
And Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
Then what? Josh Hines Allen.
Okay, yeah.
Then what? End of message.
Sure.
Trayvon Walker's still got a high upside. Okay. Trayvon Walker wouldn't be a top 10 player on any good team in this league. And you just traded away more draft capital in a new regime. By the way, you're having to contour all of this to what Liam Cohen wants to do. In all the years I've been doing the NFL draft, I don't think I've ever seen a dumber move. And this is no shot at Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter could be great. He's my number 1 on the board. To trade away a first-round pick next year is the dumbest thing I've seen a team do.
When you should know that you're...
When you know you're bad.
Right. You know you're not going to be able to give them a late pick next year. I get what you're saying.
Best case scenario for the Jaguars next year is what?
In the draft?
No. In terms of who they play next year. So you play 6 games in the division. You play 2 with Houston.
Yeah, you're going to lose.
2 L's. 2 with Tennessee, 2 with Indianapolis.
You might win 2 of those.
I'm gonna be real kind and say you might win 3 of them.
Okay.
Because I don't have a high faith in Tennessee at all, and you split with Indianapolis.
Okay.
So you go 3-3 in the division.
Yep. That means you've got to.
Okay. Here's who else you play next year. See, I already did this, so I've already looked at it.
So he's already looked at it.
On the road, you play at the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
At the Cincinnati Bengals. At the San Francisco 49ers. At the Raiders. At the Broncos. That is 5 teams that are going to mush your face. Now at home, you play the Kansas City Chiefs, mushed.
That's another
Chargers, mushed. Rams, mushed. Seahawks, mushed. Jets and the Panthers. Hey, there's 2 games you can win. Yep. At best, you go 5-12, which means let's play it forward. Look at the draft board this year. That means you gave a top 5 pick. It means you gave 2 top 5 picks for a guy that I am projecting can play 2 positions. May just be a corner. Do you realize that Travis Hunter is now the highest selected corner in NFL history?
If he's only a corner, he has to be Darrelle Revis.
And he's not. He's not Darrelle Revis. He's not.
Right.
If you're lucky, if you're really lucky, he can be a top 5 corner in this league. And you just traded 2 top 5 picks to get up there. Oh, by the way, you gave up second round 2. You gave up 3 legitimately high-level starters. You gave up a pick in the early 30s of the second round that is the honey hole that every team I have talked to has gone, we'd kill to get another pick up there. We'd kill to get another pick right there because the guy I'm getting at 35 is very similar to the guy I got at 10.
Yes.
And you gave up that to get Travis Hunter. Awesome. You have a guy you can sell jerseys for now.
Yep.
Sweet. You know what you don't have? A team that's going to win.
Bingo.
Because you still, your offensive line's still dog water. You're not good defensively. He's not alone going to make you better defensively. I think it is one of the most dumbfounding things I think I've ever seen. I saw the trade and I went, okay. I mean, I like the fit, and it kind of dawned on me. I said, okay, we're good. And we had Johnny Mitchell, the former Jets, which, by the way, that was super cool.
Yes.
I know, some people were like, we want to hear Jeremy and Tank talk about the picks. I get it. And you're going to hear all of that tonight. Johnny Mitchell looked at us and went, I want to do the first 7 picks with you.
Okay.
Awesome.
We're in.
Awesome.
Johnny Mitchell, if you don't know who he is, Johnny Mitchell was a number 15 overall pick by the New York Jets in the 1992 NFL draft, who we ran into yesterday. The guy that he's here with is
a friend of ours
is a guy from ESPN El Paso, who we sat with at the draft last year. And we ran into Johnny, and Johnny was, super open and was chatting us up. And we were like, hey, you want to come on the show? He's like, hell yeah. And so he spent most of the night over at our table, I felt like,
and I'm gonna
which was really cool.
And I'm going to go a step further because I really, some people are like, Johnny, we don't know Johnny Mitchell and all that. And I get it. We wanted to hear Tank and Jeremy. I want to tell the people that said, I want to tell you something. So Radio Row is a huge thing at the draft. It's a huge room with all kinds of people. Off camera, Johnny Mitchell literally took me around, I think, to every person he knew and said, you need to talk to this guy because he knows his excrement.
Yep.
Can we crowdsource this in the room? How many times did we hear him do that?
100 times.
David Smith said 100 times.
It's 100.
He was legitimately the nicest guy.
He was.
Ever.
He was. Phenomenal guy. And wanting to pick our brains about our craft, which was really cool. I don't know. It was a very cool moment. We're super glad that he joined us. He'll probably be there tonight. He will pop back on with us, I'm sure, tonight. I'm going to try to convince Q Myers to come on with us as well. Q has sat right next to us for the last 2 drafts, and we have yet to have his face on the camera. So we may be able to get him in front of the camera tonight.
His producer may or may not think I'm the funniest person.
I believe he was Jeremy was cracking her up all night long, and she just sat across the table just like, this is the funniest guy that I've never heard of before.
I don't know. I don't know when Luke Combs and Alex Jones had a love job, and I did not know he did the NFL draft. But that is pretty comical.
Right. But Q Myers, for those who may not know, because you don't hear his show on ESPN Asheville, he's the one that fills in for us when we're gone. He's the national midday show with the Q and Friends show. And anyhow, so it's a really cool experience. And see, I think it's important to bring some other voices on every now and then. I mean, Johnny Mitchell's a guy who's been through the process. I was completely enthralled with everything he was talking about last night.
Johnny Mitchell, I think to this day, is still the youngest first-round pick in NFL history.
Really?
I believe that. I'll check that in a break.
Okay.
If it's not him, it's Amobi Okoye. I can't remember which one was younger.
I think it's got to be Amobi. Wasn't he like 17?
No, he was 20.
Something like that?
Yeah, he was 20. But he had just turned 20.
I was thinking he was still in his teens when he did that. Because, hell, that was the one that went to Louisville when he was 16 or 17, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Rabbit hole of the day.
Hey, we love it.
We do love a rabbit hole. Radio Row is just such a fun experience. And, it's cool to get those other outside voices. Right, because you have Jeremy in your ear every day talking about how Shedeur Sanders is terrible at football. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to get an aspect of somebody who is, more welcoming to Shedeur Sanders.
Well, and
he's favorable.
He
right?
also played with Dion.
Sure, which skews it.
I don't think it skews it. I think it gives you a look. I'm gonna be real honest about Dion.
That's my friend's son kind of thing is how I got from him.
I don't, maybe to a point.
Right.
I've probably met 20 people that played with Deion Sanders. Nate Brown played against him.
Yes.
Never played with him.
He did.
I've never met a person that had a negative thing to say about him as a person. Not one. Not one human that played with Deion Sanders ever said a negative thing about him.
No.
That to me was well worth the price. Actually, as soon as he said, "I'm Johnny Mitchell," that was the number 15 pick in the 1992 NFL draft from the New York Jets, I went, "Cool, you should just replace me. I'm gonna go hang out back here at the food table, and I'm gonna let you cook, my friend."
Yes. Anyhow, tonight we'll be covering the NFL Draft live once again with our 4-man team with David Smith of Armchair Commentary, Cowboy Zach Hurst as well, and of course us two dumbasses will be there as well tonight.
And maybe the other people at our table will show up tonight. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Yeah. Tonight at 6 o'clock. That is when the draft kicks off, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Again, the national ESPN coverage will be heard on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We will be cutting that short, though, for the Braves game, so Braves fans do not panic. 9:40 tonight, you will have the pregame show for the Braves game. And then we'll have that in its entirety. And then day 3 of the draft, 12 to 7 p.m. tomorrow on ESPN Asheville, we will have the coverage of the 2025 NFL Draft from up here in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
The Snake Trail Pleasure Club.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. The Eagles Living the Dream Tour rolls on after this.
ESPN
Clear. Next break's not till when?
Scattered showers and thunderstorms at times as the high approaches 71 degrees. More rain will fall tonight. There will be areas of 55 with the low dropping down to 56. The wet weather pattern holds.
Okay.
Start of the weekend ahead of a front tomorrow. There will be periods of showers and thunderstorms with a high of 76. The rain will move out on Saturday evening with a low dropping down to 50, and then a dry into the weekend on Sunday with sunshine and a high near 75. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off, free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
The new iHeart app just looks better.
The best feature of a car radio on the app.
It's the presets.
It's super easy.
And thank you for keeping it free.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeart Radio app today.
iHeart Radio.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with
8,008,135.
Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local
5,318,008.
training, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or Showtime.
Are you surprised I know that off the top of my head?
One-stop custom apparel shops.
Doesn't shock you in the slightest.
Day Night Rivals, televising.
I'm assuming you know what that is. No one knows what that is until I tell them, and they're like, oh my God, I feel stupid.
Minor League Park, it's all in the bag.
Yep.
Low prices. Love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up.
Just living the dream. I love that. You know what? I will have some meatloaf. Let's have some meatloaf.
You want some?
Yes. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
I'm unapologetic.
3, 2.
It is the Ingles Living the Dream Tour coming to you from beautiful Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin.
Little Seagull Township.
The 2025 NFL Draft is the culmination of Season 1 of the Ingles Living the Dream Tour. Thanks to Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Clarissa sells WBNC.com. Also a big shout out to our good friends who have the balls. Bears Smokehouse Barbecue.
We have a great comment in our YouTube stream here.
Uh-huh.
On a scale of yes to oh hell yes, how hungover is Jeremy? Not. We got back here last night. I poured a cup of Fireball, had one beer, and went night, and I slept for a long time.
It was a good evening last night. We all had so much fun at Green Bay. Then when we got home, we all just went, you know what? Maybe we should be responsible. Maybe we should just hold all of this in because we know it is going to be a little insane tonight going into tomorrow, which is going to be the Lake House day for day 3 of the draft. We'll not be going back to Green Bay. We'll be hanging out here at the Man Cave all throughout the final 4 rounds of the NFL draft. And we will have all of it streaming live for you on the YouTube. So be sure to follow us.
So I believe it will probably be Tank that will have to go procure us some food sources for tomorrow.
Probably.
We're gonna have some brats.
I'll get up early in the morning.
We'll have some brats. We'll have some steaks tomorrow night. Ooh. We'll celebrate all of the things because the draftmas season again has come and gone.
I don't know what I'm going to do, though. Man, I wish I'd have thought about it before we came.
What do you mean, what you're going to do?
Because I'd buy all of my meats at the greatest place on earth, which is Ingles Supermarket.
For sure. We don't have that option here.
I don't have that option here, and I'm brand loyal. Low prices, love the savings. I mean, that's where I get all my meats. I don't know what I'm going to do without them. I miss being at home just because Ingles is not here.
We've got a lot.
Melissa, Green Bay, Wisconsin. We need one.
Actually, Mel, don't worry about it. I really hope nothing ever comes here.
I hope there's no reason
there's
for
a
us
lot
to
of places
ever
we
come
want
back here.
Ingles to go so we can get our wares in different places. This ain't one of them.
Oh, good Lord.
Because this is, this is remote.
Yes.
And I don't know, I think they paved their roads on top of cobblestone and they only did it thinly.
Yeah.
I don't need a proctological exam for the next 14 years because I have driven on roads in little Pterodactyl Bay, Wisconsin.
On the roads that were paved by Vince Lombardi's blind grandchildren. This is one of my favorite sayings.
He said
yesterday.
that on WWNC yesterday with all of us in the truck. We went, we're not even allowed to laugh out loud at that.
No. These roads over here. Highway 57 in Green Bay, right outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin, is the worst road on the planet.
You're sitting there trying to send a text message like, I can't do it.
The speed limit is 70, but you can't do more than 50 without shaking yourself like a milkshake.
Yeah. I mean, this has been fun. It's great to see
Lambeau.
It is. You know, all the things. But I'm really looking forward to next year and the Yinzer excrement show.
Oh, yes.
I'm very excited.
The 2026 NFL draft, which will be live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Just another cool place that we'll get to experience, hopefully.
We coming.
He's like, you better plan for it.
Yeah, you better plan. I know what happened the last time I went to Pittsburgh, and I may or may not have an active warrant there. So, need to take care of that before we get there.
You probably should. You probably should. Last night in the NFL draft, the Carolina Panthers with the number 8 overall pick selecting Titaroa McMillan out of Arizona. I really loved it. And the more I think about it, the more I like it. I like Tet. I think he's a really good receiver. He's got really good hands. And I don't know that I buy any of the he doesn't love football stuff.
Well,
I mean, at least to the level that he doesn't belong here, right? Because that was a lot of that was a lot of the discussion yesterday. Was he worth a top 10 pick? And I think he is.
I don't. But if it was him or Jalen Walker or Michael Williams, I'm real glad you did it this way.
Yes.
I'm really glad you did it this way. I do still think you have a problem if he doesn't win over the top. So now you've got a slew of receivers that they don't win easily.
You mean he doesn't separate downfield?
He doesn't separate, period. Mm-hmm. He's a contested catch guy. The thing is, he's so big and he's got really physical hands.
And ever since he said it yesterday, when Johnny Mitchell was on with us and he said Mike Evans, I first, like, I was taken aback by that because it was like, he's not that big, right? He's not as physically imposing. He may be as tall because I think Mike Evans is 6'4", isn't he? Or 6'6"?
No, he's Mike's 6'5", Tet's 6'4", Drake London's 6'4".
So I mean, they're about the same height, but I don't see him as a physically imposing receiver like Mike Evans. But he can be transformed into that.
It's not even transforming. He's already that. He has really violent hands, which is with a guy that doesn't separate well. That's what I want to see. Mm-hmm. So I'm fine with the Tet pick. I told everybody that I did Adam Gold yesterday. I'm actually doing Adam Gold again today. Mm-hmm. So you'll be able to hear me. You're going to hear me a lot. I'm in a lot of places. I think I'm going to change my Twitter handle to Tar Heel Draft Nerd because I'm everywhere.
It's just everywhere.
My face is a lot like Dollar Bill at the Snake Trail Pleasure Club. You'd see a lot of it. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with it with Ted. I told every Panther fan that would listen, you're not going to love what you take at 8 because there's not 8 legit top 10 players in this class. But we don't get to do things that way. Right. I can't be at 8. And well, I don't have 8 top 10 players. Well, you don't get to drop down to 20. It doesn't work that way. So I think Carolina made the best of a bad situation. I will be really curious to see who they take at 57 today in the second round. I'm good with Tet. I don't think there was anything you could have done at 8 that would have led me to give you better than a B grade.
Okay.
And that's what Tet gets from me.
Yep.
Tet's a B. Jalen Walker would have been a C. Michael Williams would have been a Alex Jones. They're putting hormones in water. That's an upgrade from a Gary Busey. Uh-huh. In terms A, B, C, D, F, Gary Busey, Alex Jones.
So are you giving the San Francisco 49ers Alex Jones
because
Michael?
No, because hand down. That's 4-man front. Okay. So, I mean, it's a big old duh. Hey, we need an edge. We don't have an edge rusher. We really need one. You still don't. I mean, yeah.
Is it all about the size?
No, it's about the fact he's not a good pass rusher. He has no plan whatsoever. This is a crass analogy, and you know it's bad if I forewarn you of that.
Wow.
This is like a 12-year-old boy who has just discovered himself. He doesn't even know the power with which he holds in his hoof. And he doesn't know what to do with it at all. This is Michael Williams. Mm-hmm. It's a good analogy. I came up with it like 2 weeks ago, and I could not figure out a place to use it.
And then Jalen Walker going 15 to the Falcons. I thought you liked that.
I did, but solely because they went and got James Pierce. Look, I know they gave up a lot. So that same thing I did with Jacksonville's schedule, I did the same thing with Atlanta. Uh-huh. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. It's not quite as bad.
Okay.
Atlanta, you're going to tell me I'm crazy when I say this, because I'm falling for it again.
Oh, yeah,
are they
winning the division again?
their schedule it's not awesome, but when you really look at who they play, the toughest games they have are at home. Like their road schedule, I'm not afraid of at all.
Right.
On the road, obviously they play 3 teams of the division.
Right.
They play the Cardinals, which is not super easy. It's 49ers, Patriots, Jets, Vikings, Colts. I don't think any of those teams are good. I don't think one of those teams is good. So there's a possibility.
And Minnesota would be the
there's
closest.
There's a possibility Atlanta goes. Well, let's see. They're in the NFC, so they play 9 on the road. There's a possibility the Falcons go 8-1 on the road. You're gonna win 4 games being this good at home, just because you're that good of a team. The Atlanta Falcons. If I were a betting individual, which I would never make one of those evil forsaken wagers, like this one that I've already made, I'll take the Atlanta Falcons to win this division. And I didn't really think about it all that much.
Really?
Tampa Bay's on their 4th offensive coordinator in, 6 years?
Yes.
Baker Mayfield's on his 17th offensive coordinator in 8 years.
Yes, he is. Striking gold, quote unquote, that many times is tough to do.
Jalen Walker and James Pierce. By golly, you just added 2 guys that can get after quarterbacks.
Right.
And I get it. You gave up a first-round pick next year. You gave up a first-round pick that should be in the 20s. I'm okay with that. It's a good move by the Rams. Good on you, LA Rams.
You better hope it's in the 20s.
I'm shocked they didn't take it.
You better hope the wheels don't come off and that ends up being a top 10 pick.
How's that happen? Explain it to me. Look at that schedule and tell me how that happens. With Michael Penix and Bijan Robinson, that offensive line, tell me how.
Well, I mean, you'll continue. I mean, it is the Falcons, so they will continue to lose games that they're not expected to.
Okay.
So I will not be shocked if they lose to the Jets next year or they lose to the Vikings.
The Jets are awful. Of all the teams you could have said right there, that's
against that defense.
That defense. I almost said something.
Are you not? Are you not going to reclaim that defense from 2 years ago?
Hell no.
It's not coming back.
No, because it's not good. You want to be linebackers? Your second corner sucks. That's why I looked at Armin Mimbu. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen my reaction last night from Armin Mimbu, I think that's where I broke Q Meyer's producer. Right. Because she heard every word that I said. And it was super vulgar and it was super honest. And it was with Johnny Mitchell sitting right beside me, and I swear to God, he was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with my hands right now.
Oh, because I feel like it's hard for people like him to be honest.
No,
on the air. No, I mean, like, look, when you get that microphone in your face, so many people have that. We can't be that hard on these guys, right? I'm a former player. Anybody's got a chance. You should have picked up a lot of that attitude from him, from what he was saying last night when he joined us, and what a big moment it is for all these guys. And like, everybody has that. He's got that mindset of everybody who comes into this league and is taken in this league has a chance to succeed.
Everybody taking this league does have a chance to succeed. A lot of times you're put in the wrong position. A lot of times that wrong position's with the New York Jets.
Could be. It could be, I guess.
Chris Haught has asked me this question. I just saw it, and he asked it a couple times. So,
okay.
And I know we have a lot of fans of this team that watch the show. Did I see the Josh Connerly pick last night from Washington? I did. I actually called it right before it happened. I knew they were super high on Connerly, and I loved it. I was talking with the Commanders guys last night, and they're over the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I sold every one of them on Josh Connerly because that kicks Coleman to the inside. And I love it. See, to me, that's what good teams do. Good teams make picks like that. And that's what I wanted to see. I love Adam Peters, by the way.
Right.
That's what I wanted to see from him. Take what the board gives you. You know what the NFL told you last night, and it was super obvious to me. The edge rushers in this class are not as good as you thought they were. Because every one of them fell.
Right.
Every single one of them fell. And there's still a lot of them out there. So you can attack that in a round.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line play, that got pilfered in a hurry. The best offensive tackles in this class were all gone by 9, except Josh Simmons.
Yep.
And Josh Simmons has a deep medical history. I loved it. I loved it for Washington. I still love it for Washington. I woke up this morning and went, Commanders have Josh Connerly. Let's go. Let's go. Laramie Tunsil and Josh Connerly protecting the most mobile quarterback in the NFL, not named Lamar Jackson. I believe it will.
Just saw in the YouTube here, Kelvin Joyner was asking about the foot. My foot's doing fine. I appreciate it. I mean, it's a little painful. But...
He was very hobbly last night.
Well, I mean, by the end of the day, even when I'm not having to walk all the way around a stadium over and over and over again, I get very hobbly by the evening. So, 11 o'clock last night, dragging my foot and leg back to the car was not a lot of fun, but I'm a gamer. I make it. I'm showing up. I'm trying not to complain about it much.
We have to take the.
Sorry, you get a drop for that, Tank. Congrats.
We have to take a commercial break here, but we do have a comment that I want to hit before we do.
Okay.
Roger Brinson said, "I hated the Bengals pick last night. Now that I've had time to sleep on it, I hate it more." As do I, and we're going to talk about we're going to talk about the Gary Buseys.
Yeah.
Because we got a few of them. Hey, it's the draft, and we got to take a player. Who is it? Well, we tried to trade for 9 minutes and 47 seconds, and now we're going to take Donovan Jackson.
We'll be right back here on the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Eagles Living the Dream Tour coming to you live from Little Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin for the 2025 NFL Draft. We'll be right back.
ESPN Asheville.
All right, you're off.
Your mountain weather forecast.
Cloudy through the south with scattered showers.
I got it. I just have to... You said 110, right, Tank? 110%?
56.
Or you want it higher than that?
Start of the weekend ahead of a front tomorrow. There will be some thunderstorms with a high of 6. The rain will move out on Saturday evening with a down to 50, and then a dry into the weekend on Sunday with sunshine.
Well, because like the beginning part, like the music and the intro is still louder than the actual sermon. Like it's still louder even after I boosted it.
Rain. Get all the tires you need.
Okay.
At the prices you'll love. Things people love.
Hope shows when we work together and show up for each other. HCA Health.
How many bars do they have in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin?
Forces to support local businesses impacted by Hurricane Helene. Go to espnavl.iheart.com to WNC Business to win a $2,000 radio campaign. From April through June, iHeart stations will highlight WNC businesses on air, and you can lend your support.
How many bars do they have in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin?
We are WNC Strong.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply.
That sucks.
Bar.com/Paul.
I figured a small town would...
Bars are packed with sugar, carbs, and unpronounceable ingredients. There's a much better option. I'm Will, and I crafted IQ Bar plant protein bars with clean, functional, delicious ingredients to empower doers like you with super.
That's so dumb.
Products plus free shipping when you text EAT to 64,000. That's EAT to 64,000.
Have you ever felt like you're missing out on meat? They're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter.
You're breaking up, and I don't know why. But anyway, why are there not more people there for the draft so they keep it open late?
Fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate. Hey, try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Rapid radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to...
What did he say? I literally couldn't even... It keeps buffering.
Free shipping.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities,
oh Lord,
tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingalls, we know that fresh means local. The best ingredients don't come from a world away. They come from your own backyard. From the farms we support to the store.
I don't know why, but you guys' like feed is like sounds wobbly.
After Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828
Testing. Hello.
on Facebook. See.
Okay, I put in a 60 spot. I'm about to fire the open now.
Tell us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we're Western North Carolina strong.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City.
Don't you love when the internet's terrible?
Gross. Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
3, 2.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on the YouTubes. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat, and, you can also watch us live from Little Sturgeon Bay. 2025 NFL Draft, the Ingalls Living the Dream Tour. Thanks to Ingalls Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Clarissa sells WBNC.com. And Bears Smokehouse Barbecue. The crew is ready and raring to go for night 2 of the NFL Draft on Radio Row. We will have the full coverage for you. The second round kicks off tonight. Down on Radio Row in Green Bay at 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern time. So we will be with you at that time with the live reactions from all of the picks that are made. It is quite fun. As last night we had a lot of attention on Radio Row. Because, Jeremy's loud, and
I'm loud and I'm saying crazy
he
stuff.
Is saying crazy things that people don't normally hear on Radio Row.
Yeah,
so we tend to draw a crowd.
Usually it's a bunch of stuff and people going,
well, the 17th birth story is a bit of a risk.
And Jeremy's over here going, do you not learn? Why do you do the same thing over and over?
That's what I'm saying. Everybody
again?
who's in the media, they there's a way to do this, right? There's the old way to do this we need to be objective and we need to make sure that we're not hurting people's feelings.
Yeah, you know why you're objective? Because you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I do. Okay, I do.
Last night we were pleased to have with us for a little bit of the coverage Johnny Mitchell, former first round pick of the New York Jets. Jets in 1992, was on with us and brought us a little new kind of perspective there. Of course, tonight we will have our four-man crew once again with David Smith of Armchair Commentary and Zachary, Cowboy Zachary Hurts.
Cowboy Zachary Nathaniel Hurst the fourth.
We will have all of the fantasy takes from those guys throughout the process tonight as well. The falafel picks from night one of the NFL draft.
I want to hear what your biggest come again for Judge Fudge moment was last night.
Well, Armin Mimbo was one that I was obviously expecting because we had prepared ourselves.
I was already ready.
Yes,
and I'm ready to be heard again.
I really did feel for Cowboy Zach Hurst when the Cowboys took Tyler Booker at 12.
That's still dumbfounding to me. You still haven't hit the one I'm talking about, though.
Donovan Jackson at 24 to the Minnesota Vikings was cuckoo time.
That's the one where I went, do you know who Donovan Jackson is? Donovan Jackson's the only five-star guard I've ever seen that had better tape at tackle, and I know for a fact cannot play tackle in the NFL.
Uh-huh.
Hey, so you weren't all that good at what you did. There's no missing you. You'll play, but you're not a first-round pick. You still haven't said the one that I'm looking for, though.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Which one is it?
Your team.
Emeka Egbuka?
Dumbest pick of the day. Not close.
No.
I said before you tell me no all you want to. Let me finish the thought before you tell me no. I told you before the draft you were the one team in the first round that couldn't screw this up. You found a way to do it. Because you had three primary needs. Every single one of them fell in your lap. And you went, you know what we should do? 8th receiver. That's a good idea. Hey, we only have 9 of them right now. We would go 10. We need to go 10. Emeka Egbuka plays primarily out of the slot. And when I say primarily, that's a nice way of saying 90% of the time. Mm-hmm. Hey, so does Chris Godwin. And I'm going to say the same thing about Tampa Bay that I said about Green Bay. Just because you draft 10 receivers does not mean for every player we draft, they'll let us play another one. No, they won't. You play 5 at max. And it really would help if they could all line up in an alignment that made any kind of sense. I don't understand where he plays. So you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan right now.
Yes.
And I didn't say a word about Raheem Jarrett, about Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we have 6 receivers that you've invested a stupid amount of capital in. That's one of the top 10 worst picks I've ever seen. In all the years I've been doing this, is one of the top 10 worst picks I've ever seen.
It all comes down to the value.
And by the way, I don't think Emeka Egbuka is a bad player.
No, he's not.
I just don't know how you're going to deal with the deficiencies you have. As soon as you took him last night, I went, yeah, we're doing that thing in Tampa Bay that Tampa Bay loves to do, which is you're trying to steer into your strength.
Mm-hmm.
What is your strength? Right now, what is your strength?
The offense is the strength.
Mm-hmm. But what part of it?
I would say all of it, actually.
You run really, really well.
Yes, they do.
Okay, you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, who are 2 older receivers, specifically Mike. They're the only 2 that can block.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we're going to be a running team that has 3 receivers that couldn't block me. That's dumb. That's straight up, it's dumb. If you're taking Ted Rowe and McMillan, okay, he's not a great blocker for his size, but at least he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Emeka Egbuka couldn't block my wife. You now have 3 receivers that can't block anybody. Make that make sense to me. Where are you going to play them? None of this makes a lick of sense. You now have to hold 7 receivers, which means you're going to have to cut a player where you need depth. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And I don't even dislike Emeka Egbuka.
Okay.
I just saw the pick, and what made me really angry was that I had gone through every iteration of this going, you can't screw this up.
No.
You cannot screw this pick up.
No, with Will
every
Johnson
player,
on the board, I was all about that. With edge rushers still on the board, yeah, I much would have rather you gone after a cornerback. I much rather would have had you go after an edge rusher. But as those guys were falling, I guess Jason Light felt like the talent was just too good to pass up on Emeka Egbuka. And you do have 2 old receivers that they're starting the clock on the new generation at receiver. And because I guess now you're trying to turn the page 2 years before you get there. to this is going from Mike Evans and Chris Godwin's team to what, Jalen McMillan and Emeka Egbuka's team?
And that's all well and good. You're not good enough to draft 3 years out. You're just not.
The defense is certainly not.
No. You play in the worst division I've ever seen. Carolina's getting better by the minute. New Orleans is not going to be down forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll straight up say, I'll say the same thing I said last year. New Orleans or Atlanta is better than you right now. Talent for talent, they're better than you right now. And now you've got to deal with that offense.
Mm-hmm.
And they have 2 pass rushers.
Mm-hmm.
And you just looked at, it's almost like Gray Zabel went a pick ahead of them, and they went, I don't know what to do now. And for 9 minutes and 50 seconds, they stood there and went, well, we have to make a pick. Who's the number 1 player on the board? Emeka Egbuka. Pick him. And somebody in the back went, but that doesn't make any sense. Doesn't matter. We already fired the card. Nothing we can do. We'll be gooder tomorrow. It was awful. That is the first Alex Jones pick in the history of my NFL draft coverage.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I mean, look, you got to take the best player on the board. You also have to, at some point, take a player that's going to play. Who's he going to play?
He'll play.
How? You explain to me the
I'm going
alignment.
to run Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and him.
And where the hell does Emeka Egbuka play? Because Chris Godwin's better in the slot. He's not good on the outside. He never has been. Because he doesn't win against outside corners that can get physical with him. Because that's what Chris Godwin does.
Mm-hmm.
He wins because you can't get your hands on it.
He's best in the slot. But he can play on that.
I think his PFF grade goes from like a 90 to a 67 when you put him on the outside.
That doesn't.
So you just took a strength and made it a weakness. What sense does that make? It doesn't make any. If you'd taken an outside receiver, I still wouldn't have liked it, but I would have at least understood it.
Mm-hmm.
You took a strength and made it a weakness.
Because you don't want to be in the position where you end up with Mike and Chris hurt, who they have been. I think Mike got hurt year before last.
And if Mike gets hurt, Emeka Egbuka doesn't do a damn thing to solve it.
And then Chris Godwin got hurt, but
because he can't play X. You need an X receiver, and you do not have one.
No, it's
you have Jalen McMillan that plays out of the slot. You have Chris Godwin that plays out of the slot. Emeka Egbuka, Palmer, and Raheem Jarrett. They're all slot receivers. You said this to me the other night. Of what Jeremy does different is that he finds guys in positions and where they fit and all that. You do not have a backup X on this team. Not one.
Jalen runs on the outside, doesn't he?
He shouldn't. He shouldn't do it ever. That's the reason he went in the 3rd round, is because teams watched him and went, he can't play on the outside. That's not how he wins. And if you look at I wish I had internet at the Sturgeon Seagull Bay Treasure Club. It's good enough for me to look this up. In terms of the catches that Jalen McMillan had, so many of them came out of the slot.
Right.
It's a bad pick. Straight up, it's a bad pick.
Okay. All right. What else?
Donovan Jackson. Minnesota, what would you say it is that you're doing here? Because, all right, so
we're doing the same thing that Dallas is doing. We're filling a slot on our line.
And I feel like I need to say this to a few teams. Let me explain to you how the draft works. So we have bad teams, and then we have gooder teams. And the gooder teams get lower picks.
Mm-hmm.
Then players enter the draft. And you should take one of the gooder players at your pick. You should not take a guy at 24 that should have gone at 124. But that's what you did. Oh, and by the way, I've seen you do this in the past. I've seen you do this. Oh, and here's the other thing about that. Who was one of your big free agent signings? Like, you went out with your free agency dollars. I haven't heard a soul say this, so I'm glad that I'm going off on a nice little tangent here.
Right.
So you took your free agency dollars because you had limited capital in the draft. And you signed Will Freeze to a bajillion-dollar deal.
Yes.
I could make the argument you didn't even need a guard at this point. Blake Brandel wasn't great last year, but you have pieces. And I'm not even mad that you took a guard in this draft. I would have been fine with you taking one over the course of the days. Taking one at 24 is the dumbest thing. One of the dumber things I've seen a team do in a long time, because you still have holes on this team. You wide receiver wise, you have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. End of message.
Jalen Naylor.
Also, he would be the 12th receiver for the Buccaneers. You should call the Buccaneers and be like, hey, you just added another.
Yeah.
Can we give you a 7th-round pick for one of your good ones? Because we need a third guy to play. The corners on that team.
Yeah.
They're not good. Man, Will Johnson would have been probably a lot better than Mekhi Blackman, who's yet to play his first NFL snap.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Rodgers, who I'm still dumbfounded you threw money at. You got one safety on the team. One. And he's 84 years old. I don't get it. Every year there are a handful of teams that I go, can we talk for 5 minutes of how you got there? Because I do not understand how you got there.
But did you get there because all the linemen came off early? And then you
don't take a lineman.
And then you think, if I don't take one now, then I won't get one in the second round. Like, I'm not getting
They
Donovan.
don't have a 2nd-round pick. They have a 3rd-round pick.
Well, there you go.
Awesome. Where's the strength of this draft? I've said this probably 500 times.
Wide receiver.
Interior offensive line and tackle in the late day 2. Wyatt Millum is going to be sitting there on the board probably when Minnesota comes up to pick at 90, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wyatt Millum's a better guard in the NFL than Donovan Jackson. Certainly has a higher upside.
I didn't think he was a guard. I thought he was a tackle.
He can play tackle. He played tackle at West Virginia. He's going to slide into guard. He's too lead-footed to play on him.
Right. I'm just thinking, is this the guy that head coach? There's like Kevin O'Connell. Is this the guy Kevin O'Connell was beating the table for? Of he's my missing piece. I have every other piece covered. I got the center from the Colts. I got the guard from the Colts. I've got the 2 tackles. Tyler O'Neill's still here. Darisaul's on the left side. I got that one left side spot. And maybe Donovan Jackson is the one that he thought fits his scheme the best. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna answer your question with a question.
Yeah.
If you went to the Boostie's Bowling Lane here in Sturgeon Bay, and Jonathan Welch, the one single guy in our group, saw a girl that he thought was cute.
Yes.
And he said, I'm gonna go over and talk to her. All right, John, what's your plan? I'm gonna tell her about my Pokemon collection and ask her if she likes to play Magic the Gathering. Okay, that's what you think you should do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my hands on the side of your face and go, you should do anything else. And that's what Quessia Duffy-Mensa should have done yesterday. Oh, I'm beating the table for Donovan Jackson. Okay, don't tell the cute girl that you play fictitious wizard cards because she will laugh at you. And she will not do the things that you're wanting her to do.
Uh-huh.
You should let her talk because everything coming out of your mouth is dumb. And you don't do that. So, yeah, he might have been beating the table. It's just, we should let him stop. We should not let him do that. That's a terrible pick. He has no upside whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a group chat last night with a handful of other draft nerds like me. When I say we weren't just making fun of Minnesota, we were going back down the line to the Ed Ingrams and all of the other interior offensive linemen that they have just set draft capital on fire with over the years. Going, it doesn't even matter who the GM is. You just keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Welch said, I only have Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know what that is. It might be Yu-Gi-Oh too. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I just think I've heard somebody. I have a bag that's an OGO.
Isn't that like Pokemon?
Sure.
Isn't that?
I don't know.
Isn't that like a cartoon or something?
I don't do fictitious Japanese cartoons.
I don't either.
That's just I have a rule.
I think my kids might watch that. That's like Dragon Ball Z or something. I don't know.
Nope. Something about the eyes.
That's 4 separate things you just talked about just now.
They're all the same thing.
You know what they all are? Women repellent.
Exactly.
That's all of them have that in common. If you bring them up on a first date, there won't be a second.
Oh gosh! Look, you can't win them all, right? And last night there were several of the picks that you look at and go, I wouldn't have done that.
Flying
Scots. I wouldn't have. Just to be clear, I would not have done the Emeka Egbuka thing. I can see why they got there.
I can't.
I can see why they wanted to get an insurance policy, because you're gonna lose one of these receivers real soon. Mike Evans could retire immediately, after this season. At any moment, he could step away. Chris Godwin, at any moment, Todd Bowles could do that thing that he did last year and leave Chris Godwin out there in a 30-point game in the fourth quarter, and he tears his ACL again, and then guess what? So you think Chris Godwin's coming back from a third one of those?
So you're taking a player based on the future of injuries instead of actually dealing with the need that you have right now. That's like
I don't understand. I get it.
That's like buying a fourth car when you don't have a stove. You see how stupid that sounds when I say it that way? Because that's exactly how I looked at it.
But again, Jason Light also looked at it as in he valued the wide receiver. He valued Emeka Egbuka better than any other wide receiver that he possibly could have gotten later in the draft. And the edges and the corners were all falling. And so maybe that was part of the calculation. We'll get one in the second round.
Flying Scotsman asked, I think, what might be the best question of the day.
Sure.
If Donovan Jackson was a Pokemon, which one would he be? And I have two good answers.
Squirtle.
He would either be a Bustle or a Suckazard. It's one or the other.
I went actual Pokemon, and you
made
it better. Yeah, you made it better.
Hey, you know why? Because I don't know what they're actually called.
Right.
I know there's a Charizard because I saw it in the chat, and I've heard that before. I also knew Squirtle because somebody said it, and I really wanted to find a reason to say Squirtle.
Anyhow, don't talk about that in public. Very much. Yeah, Jonathan Welch. Yeah, I mean, if I were a Pokemon, I'd definitely be Squirtle.
You'd still be Kirby because you are Kirby.
Because you are Kirby.
If we're gonna make you a fictitious cartoon, you have to be the oversized marshmallow.
I get to be Kirby. Okay, all right.
With the little pink rosy cheeks.
All right, we'll take a break here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. More reaction from night one of the 2025 NFL Draft coming up next.
Regional Medical Center, they help deliver joy.
Good God, it's going off the rails.
Welcome your newest family member in comfort, surrounded by loved ones. Their expert team of
Good God, it's going off the rails.
Provide personalized care close to home. Plus, they offer classes to help you prepare for labor, postpartum, and newborn care. Haywood Regional Medical Center, helping you and your baby live your healthiest life. Learn more or schedule a tour at myhaywoodregional.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah.
Speaking of Squirtle, look at your phone.
They've got millions of parts guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and
You there?
Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The quest to regain the division crown starts now, so be here for every huge moment of the Braves 2025 season.
First pitch, ground ball right side, diving stop by Ozzie, got him. Whoa, what a play by Albies.
The mountain's home for the Braves, ESPN Asheville.
Fly ball to deep right by Marcel, that's way back and gone, home run Ozuna.
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball all season on Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
News has never been so important.
We've got breaking news from Capitol.
Sorry, I just about panicked and was like, oh crap, do I need to add a spot in here?
News on iHeartRadio.
Sorry.
Breakthrough in medical research.
Live around the clock, so you're...
I know the internet's like terrible.
Extreme weather is impacting millions.
24/7 news, right at your fingertips with the free iHeart app, where you can now make 24/7 news a preset for even quicker access. 24/7 news on iHeartRadio.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
At Ingalls, we know that fresh means local. The best ingredients don't come from a world away. They come from your own backyard. From the farms we support to the stores we love, the tables you treasure. Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Ain't no truth on the radio station. Somebody owes me an explanation. Well, I get knocked down, I get back up.
The Sportsocracy.
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
And I'm unapologetic.
3, 2.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. This is the Ingalls Living the Dream Tour 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. We are coming to you live from the Snake Trail Pleasure Club. Hey, I did it right that time.
I do have a question as I was going through my phone here.
Okay.
Where was I for Conway Twitty time? Because I don't remember that happening. YouTube was up on my phone for some reason, and it was just a giant picture of what would have been the Wisconsin Hammer, Conway Twitty. That dude in 1984 would have run through this place like a hot knife through butter. There wouldn't have been one Tanya in this town that didn't throw her under his head, like, for sure.
Conway Twitty?
I'm just curious where I was for Conway Twitty time.
I don't know. Was he here?
No, he's been dead for 30 years. So no, he wasn't here.
I don't know.
It was on my phone, which means it was playing in the truck at some point, and I don't remember that happening.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't remember.
Was he here? Well, I mean, he might have been, but he didn't come here of his own volition. He died when I was 4.
I didn't know if you were talking about a long time ago when he used to tour here, or did he have a lake house near here? Or I have no idea. I had no frame of reference where you were coming from with the Conway Twitty stuff. Of course, though, you play a bunch of music in the car that I have no idea what it is. Y'all were listening to a song last night. Y'all were all super excited about that. What was the name? Seminole Wind? I'd never heard that song before last night.
Look, Tank, if you're trying to get up with the get down here at the Snake Trail Pleasure Club, you go down to the Boosies. You play Seminole Wind 8 times on that jukebox.
It's going to happen for you.
It's going to happen for you.
There's no doubt. You are going to wind up bumping uglies in a Winnebago somewhere. It is the 2025 Ingalls Living the Dream Tour here on ESPN Asheville last night. Overall grade for the first round of the draft, I think I'm at like a solid B, because I don't feel like there were too many of those. Like, you hated the Emeka Egbuka pick. I get it. It wasn't one of my favorites, and it ranks probably the 5th worst move a team could make.
Worst pick of the draft, maybe the worst pick. Worst pick of all time. No. They're going to regret it for many years.
Then you had the Tyler Booker and the Emeka Egbuka and Donovan Jackson. Aside from that, though, I felt like pretty much everybody kind of nailed it. I loved what the New York Giants did. Staying away from Shedeur Sanders, trading back into the first round to get Jackson Dart. You got Abdul Carter, who to me was the best player in this draft.
Yep.
At number 3.
I thought Matthew Golden was a terrible pick, too. I mean, I'm happy that Green Bay took a receiver for the first time in 400 years. I do think it's funny they sent out Mark Murphy to tell them they did it in Green Bay. We took a receiver. Woo! Oh, Jesus. Woo! We did it. Oh, but I forgot to say, he sucks. So we took a receiver, but it's probably the 800th one we should have taken over the last 24 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he any better than the receivers that they already have?
Matthew Golden what is it about Texas? They have receivers that are just real fast, and they don't do a lot else. Green Bay, another team. How many slot receivers do you need? Do you have some formation I don't know about where you can play 5 guys off the line at the same time?
We do. It's the new cutting edge.
Can't wait for that to be flagged every time you do it.
The bays are just they're slot heavy. We're getting slotty up here in the Bay.
Seen a lot of slots since I've been here. Matthew Golden, what do you think I was talking about?
Yeah.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
No, never would that ever happen. Other favorite picks from last night: Colston Loveland going to the Chicago Bears. Ben Johnson getting his guy.
I'm still shit. I'll be honest with you. I like the Loveland pick, but probably not for the reason that you're going to hear anybody else say it.
Okay.
I did not hear that one time throughout this whole process. I had been inundated with how much they loved Tyler Warren, who was on the board at 10.
Yes.
And they went, skirt. Not quite. Nobody said. And that's one of my biggest fears with the Bears, because they have Ryan Poles, Kevin Warren, and Ben Johnson, it's a lot of hands in the cookie jar.
Right.
And nobody leaked it. Nobody said it to the wrong person. I never heard it from a credible source, not one time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did see a slew of people that had Warren going 7 to the Jets, which that'll be the last time I say that, because I can't say it without crying. Because it's what you ought to done. Instead of take the 7th best tackle in this class as the 7th pick.
Uh-huh.
I like Loveland. I preferred Warren, but it was very close.
Right.
So, I like the Colston Loveland pick.
The only times I ever saw Loveland matched up with the Bears in mock drafts was if Warren was already off the board. And it was almost like he's the fallback plan. But what we found out last night was Mr. Offensive Genius, Ben Johnson, he likes Colston Loveland better. And that makes me like Colston Loveland better because I trust Ben that much. And when I heard that Colston Loveland is the closest thing in this draft to Sam Laporta, I went, okay, that can work. We can make that happen. Caleb Williams still the big problem there. But, again, we've said, if anybody can fix him, maybe it's Ben. The Walter Nolan pick to the Arizona Cardinals.
Love.
It was a home run.
It was one of 4 picks I got right last night, so I have to love it because it was scant. It was scant, the number of picks that I got correct with teams.
All I could think about was Red Sea as that was going on. Was, please, dear God, somebody give him the defensive lineman he's been asking for 4 years.
And he got him.
And he got him.
And he's a good one.
Yeah.
He's a good old good one.
Yep.
I like the Nolan pick. I love Tyler Warren at 14 to the Colts. Oh, I can't believe I didn't mention Kenneth Grant to the Dolphins.
You hated that one too.
If it hadn't been for Emeka Ibuka, that would have been the one I would have come in here and gone, do you understand how the draft works? Because I don't think you do. I also don't think you understand that just because a guy's 330 pounds does not mean he's a nose tackle. Oh, we need a nose tackle. I got that. You still do. Because you just took a guy. You took a guy that if we made a Disney movie about the 2025 Miami Dolphins, he could play an actual honest-to-God defensive tackle in that movie. The problem is when the ball snapped, he can't do that because he's a big old pudding pants way too often. His effort, when it's good, it's real good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, nose tackle, you don't really get to do that. Don't get to take plays off because that's how you go, hey, man, Breece Hall just ran 90 yards. Why? Because Kenneth Grant took this play off. Oh, guess we probably shouldn't have done that.
That's a big problem with him.
Kenneth Grant's a 3-tech that's masquerading as a 0.
Okay.
He's not a nose tackle. Now, he might become one, but to take that at 13, that is a lot of projection. I didn't like Kenneth Grant to any team that ran a 3-4. Everybody kept talking about him to the Chargers.
Yep.
I like that he played for Harbaugh. I don't think Harbaugh would have done it with him on the board. Oh, by the way, I did go back in the first mock draft I did. If I had just done a mock after the combine, I would have won the media contest. I got 14 players right in my first mock.
Wow.
The week after the combine. Because I had Nolan to Arizona.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember who it was. I had Tyler Warren falling past the Jets. So Warren went to the Colts. Jalen Walker to the Falcons. Gray Zabel to the Seahawks. And it was Marion Hampton to the Chargers. I was so mad. I was so mad. I saw that at like 2 o'clock this morning and went, I hate everything. Next year, I'm just going to go to the combine, and I'm never going to talk about the draft.
Well, we got sold, or we convinced ourselves that 20 was the landing spot for Marion Hampton. And I think that probably was the plan all along. But when the corners fell, Sean Payton did the thing that Jason Licht should have done and went, oh, wait, these really good corners are falling. Maybe I should jump on them now. Rather than saying, well, the entire class is being pushed down, so we can wait for that later. Because that's the explanation that we got. And Denver goes out and gets Jahdae Barron to put out there with Patrick Surtain, and this is why this is still going to be a playoff threat team. They may not be great, but damn it, they have football players at damn near every position.
We were asked in the YouTube comments who won the media contest. It was Corey Rendon from the Huddle Report. He got 12 players right and 28 correct picks 28 correct players in the first round, and Nick Jacobs from KSHB TV.
Huh. Well, good for them.
And Jeremy finished way behind them.
I was looking down there to see if I recognized a name of somebody that
you won't on the first page, but you'll.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Josh Green from Fox Sports Spartanburg.
Nice. You need to go down and hook up with Josh.
I need him
maybe
to teach me maybe he should teach me how to mock draft, because apparently I don't know how.
Fox Sports Spartanburg's Josh Green getting pretty high up there.
Yeah, he's on the first page.
Wow, that's.
He was in the top 5 all night,
solid.
and then the last 6 picks.
Trevor Sikkema, our PFF All-Star, 8 right and 27 players in the first round.
And now, by comparison, that means that Trevor got 2 players or 4 players right that I didn't. And had 2 more players in the first round than I did.
Yes.
He finished way up there. I finished
way down there.
Yeah.
Way down.
Well, we just hope that the top 100 side of this will make it better. Mm-hmm. I was really happy with my top 100. So,
Night 2 of the NFL Draft tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We will have all of the live reactions on the YouTube stream tonight from Radio Row. You want to tune in for that. Never know who might stop by during the coverage here. Actually, you may just tune in and see us own the room.
We might be the only ones there.
We might be. There were very few representatives sitting on Radio Row yesterday for round 1. I can't imagine day 2 is going to get more hectic.
I think it's going to be very close to the same. I mean, you're already here.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Well, last year there was a drop-off between Thursday and Friday.
There were also
but there were still a lot of people in that room. So
yeah,
the ones that made the trip will still be
going from 800 to 400 is that's a substantial drop off. Going from 109 to 106 doesn't really look all that different.
Right. It's all hands on deck. What is it? Necessary personnel on site for the 2025 NFL Draft. It is the Ingles Living the Dream Tour, and we'll be right back here on ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
All right, you're clear. Holy crap, you about gave me an aneurysm. Apparently there's somebody outside waiting on promo stuff, and there's no one here but me right now, so.
Well, tonight there will be areas of played.
Gotta love the organization here. Yeah, I'm going to run outside, let them in, and come back.
Some thunderstorms to the high 76. The rain will move out on Saturday evening with a low dropping down to 50. And then a dry into the weekend on Sunday with sunshine and a high near 75. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment.
It's Car Care Month, and Summit Racing has what you need for bumper-to-bumper care. Revive the interior, exterior, underhood, and more. Shop SummitRacing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 4th, 2025.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play, but it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Apparently they got mad and left.
.com/free.
All about the presets.
That is the best new feature. It's like a car radio right on the app.
There's a list of what's trending. There's all the podcasts. I love it.
Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Welcome to Harvest Farms, where the best organic or natural products are waiting for you, where the fields are filled with flavorful delights, and every bite is backed with the highest quality and attention. This is a place of affordable organic adventure, where freshness reigns supreme, that can only be found at Ingles. Harvest Farms Organics. You'll love what's inside.
Looking to buy or sell in Western North Carolina? At Clarissa Sells WNC, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County, selling over 100 homes in 2024. We represent both buyers and sellers, and with a personalized approach to meet your needs.
At Clarissa Sells WNC, real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. Call me today, Clarissa Marshall, at 828-774-6343. When it comes to real estate, we're here for what matters most, you.
The Sportsocracy.
Just living the dream.
3, 2.
We are back on the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, coming to you live from Little Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin.
Little Pterodactyl Ridge.
Yep. It is the 2025 NFL Draft on the Ingles Living the Dream Tour, night 2 tonight. We have the third and the fourth rounds, or the second and the third round, tonight. And there's so much talent left on the board.
Donovan Ezraku.
Yep.
How did he not get? You want to know why Jeremy did so bad in the mock draft contest yesterday? Because I think way too highly of every NFL GM. Next year, I'm going to take the really bad drafting teams, and I'm going to drink a handle of Fireball, and then I'm going to draft for them.
He's got to get in that mindset somehow of how am I bad at this?
Yeah, because the smart teams are going to end up with Donovan Ezraku at the top of 2, and you're going to regret you didn't do that for, I don't know, the next 8 years.
Right.
Somehow Donovan Ezraku doesn't go in the first round, and Donovan Jackson does.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the best dude named Donovan in this draft. It's not a common name, bruh. The draft makes me angry.
You had Will Johnson, the cornerback from Michigan, falling out of the first round due to injury issues.
Yeah.
Medical concerns for him. Then you had Mike Green, which we've had, the character questions that can't be confirmed.
Yeah, here's something that I can tell you after last night. The character issues have been confirmed.
There's a problem.
I'll be really honest with you. Mike Green could have shown up to the draft last night with blood on his clothes and a knife in his back pocket, and that would not have been enough to not get him taken in the first round. So what they found was worse than that. Which means he could fall like a rock. He may not go. He's either going to go very high today, or every team that did what I did and they couldn't substantiate it is going, oh God.
Right. Like what else?
Baltimore couldn't substantiate
the thing that would scare me is what else is hanging out there. Right. Like, I don't know. Anyway, Mike Green falls out of the first round. Donovan Ezeraku is still sitting there at the top of this round. Nick Eamon-Wari is one that I saw your buddy Walter Football. He put the Jets taking him today in the second round.
That would make me feel a little better about Armin Memphis.
That is exactly what I told David Smith of Armchair Commentary this morning as we were enjoying our morning coffee. Was there's got to be something to make Jeremy and Zach feel better today.
You know what's going to happen for the Jets? Hey, pull up the Jets. Just pull up their picks. I see that you have the lovely ESPN interface for Draftology in front of you.
I do.
So the Jets pick, I can't remember what pick they have in.
Go one more over. All right, so the Jets have the 10th pick today.
Okay, that 10th pick today will be Jalen Milroe. And then in they have 8 in the third round?
9.
9 in the third round. That'll be Donovan Jackson's gone, so we can't do that. Who do I hate a lot?
Can't take Tyler Booker.
They'll take Tyler Booker again. Like Dallas gets him 80% of the time. We get him when he's real tired and has been eating bonbons all day. So yeah, the Jets. I'm telling you, if you like watching me get angry, today's probably gonna be a good day for you.
Set him up for it yesterday with the Armin Mimbo pick at number 7. So Jeremy's locked in on they're going to break his heart once again today.
Somebody asked me on a Jet podcast the other day, what move for the Jets have you liked the best so far this offseason? And my answer was not applicable. When they make one I like, I'll let you know. But they hadn't done it yet.
Yep.
So
Savone Ravel, Trey Amos, a couple of the corners that are still available.
There's so much talent.
I'm so excited about today.
I'm more excited about today than I was yesterday.
That's how I feel. Like I'm looking at today's talent and going. Usually by mid-second round, I do that thing where I kind of tap out. Like I've told you time and time again, as someone who's not seeped in the draft like you are and all locked in on 5th round picks, like I lose interest in the 2nd, 3rd round most years. This year, I'm looking at all, 60-something picks, 70 picks that could be made today, and every one of them has the potential to be an impact player early.
You will get, and I've said this about this, and people say, this draft's not deep. This is one of the deepest drafts I've ever covered.
It is.
Because you get to 100 and you're still hitting hammers.
Uh-huh.
I mean, when I did my top 100 for the media contest, I got to like 90 and went, I'm going to have to cut guys out here that I don't want to, especially since I had to throw Jalen Milroe in it. And Jamari Caldwell, who I feel pretty sure is going to go at some point today.
Right.
This is it's one of the reasons that I railed on Jacksonville so hard is you gave up another bite at the apple with a first-round pick. Mm-hmm. To jump up 3 spots. It dumbfounds me. But today, I mean, look, you're going to get a lot of players. There's a lot of talent today. Today, I will be way more analytical. The first round for me is fun. We've talked about these guys at such nauseum that you know the player you're getting. Mm-hmm. It's today and specifically tomorrow. Tomorrow's where day 3 is my day to shine.
Of course.
I get to be real funny on day 1. Day 2, I'm a little more locked in. Day 3, I was going to say laser focused, but that's not.
That's not true.
I'm very tired and I'm a little intoxicated, but I'm still throwing out banger knowledge on these guys that I've gone deep on.
Absolutely.
This is where teams are made. All right, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Hey, where did they take Josh Sweat? It wasn't in round 1 or 2. It was in round 4. Mm-hmm. Milt Williams, 3 or 4.
Okay.
It was one of those two. I can't remember.
Yeah.
This is where your team gets built. Like, if you're wanting to win a Super Bowl, this is the day where you build the foundation that 2-3 years from now, you will be looking at going, man, we crushed that. Man, we crushed that. I don't think I'll say you get 3 quarterbacks today. think Shuck goes at 33 to Cleveland.
Okay.
I do believe we should do a what time did you say this thing starts? 7 o'clock tonight?
Or 6 o'clock
6
our
here.
time.
Yeah. Most people listen to us on radio
or in the Eastern
it's 7.
Yes.
Don't want them sitting there watching the TV box going, why is it Sports Center? Because our time is different from your time right now. I say we do a very quick second and third round mock draft at 5 today.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
6 Eastern, 5 Central.
Yeah.
That's why they did
all
it.
in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Zach Hurst is like, yes, let's do that. I'm ready.
That means we have to get there and get loaded up and do stuff.
That's right.
It's almost my time of the draft day shows to go throw my nuggies on other shows.
It is indeed. Jeremy's going to be heading out of here, and we will bring in Zach Hurst and David Smith of Armchair Commentary in the last hour of the program here. Talk about some of the fantasy impacts, get their thoughts on the best picks of yesterday and what is to come in day 2 of the NFL draft. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We could not do what we do without the great support of you, the listener, but also the support of our great sponsors. And when a sponsor comes to you and says, hey, I want you to make crude jokes about our products on the air, then I have no other choice but to embrace that person and say, I will gladly spread the word of your glorious balls all over this country. From sea to shining sea, there is no greater invention than the Bear Ball at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue. Downtown Asheville and in South Asheville on Sweeten Creek Road inside Sweeten Creek Brewery. I'm sorry, there's he got me.
It's a better read if you don't laugh through it.
It is. I apologize. Cowboy Zach Hurst was over here doing the Major League You Have No Huevos, You Have No Marbles dance for Major League 2. The Bear Balls are an amazing invention, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know who thought of it, who came up with the idea of, hey, we should take cornbread and we should take pulled pork. And we should take mac and cheese. And then we should just crunch all that up into a ball, deep fry it, batter it, deep fry it, and then cover it with cheese sauce and bacon. It's one of the greatest inventions out there. And you can have them today at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue. Again, two locations in Asheville for your enjoyment of all of the balls. Bear balls, moink balls. Everything on the menu at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue is amazing. This is, and this ain't one of those barbecue places where you go and the meat's pretty good, but the sides aren't that great. Or, I mean, every place I've ever been has its drawback.
The broccoli
salad is so good. Their greens are fantastic. It is, everything you have there will be awesome. They have a catering menu. If you got a big event coming up, you can do that. It is the weekend, so live music is upon us once again. They have live music every Thursday night, Saturday and Sundays down on Cox Avenue, 135 Cox Avenue. You should go check them out for dinner tonight or anytime during the weekend. They will have the TVs on in the bar. You can go by and watch the NFL draft. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy.
You can also do what a couple places did yesterday and throw our stream up on in public. We saw that more than once.
Check them out at bearsbbq.com today. Second round of the NFL draft begins in just a few hours in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I have to go quaff my mullet.
And quaff it. That sounds weird.
And spread the shekels of knowledge to the masses.
Are you going to put that same stuff in your hair that made it turn all frizzy last night?
I turned into a rooster. If I lean my head forward, my plumage went.
Yeah.
Right over.
It actually reminded me of Bessie, that was in what was that? That was in Mobile.
Yes.
The cow that was behind you in the YouTube shot, like your hair went that stringy last night.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Crazy.
It's crazy. I kind of look like a cross between Jake the Snake Roberts haircut and Foghorn Leghorn. It was not a good look. Thankfully, it was sequestered
But
under
look,
a hat.
that's how you get by the end of draft day. It's a long day. It's a long slog for everybody, but we have so much fun bringing it to you on the Ingles Living the Dream Tour, and we couldn't do it without our great sponsors. Of course, there's Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings, Parks Ford of Hendersonville, and Clarissa Sells, WBNC.com. We will be back with David Smith of Armchair Commentary and Cowboy Zachary Hurst up next.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your
Well, that was fun. Apparently, Jessica handled it, but I was like sprinting down the hallway trying to time that out right.
Rain will fall tonight. There will be odd late.
Gotta love it when no one's organized and this place is like freaking.
Tomorrow, there will be periods of showers and thunderstorms with a high of.
You got any super chats in there?
Weekend on Sunday with sunshine and a high near 75. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. Like the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with the JBC, 4-piece nugs, fries, and a small soft drink. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon all the time. Duh. For the best deal, gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
bonus bucks. Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here on ESPN Asheville.
Explore a career as a correctional officer. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring with a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Becoming a correctional officer can be a rewarding first step along a criminal justice career. Visit dac.nc.gov/co jobs.
Head to Apple Tree Honda because spring is in the air and the 2026 models are arriving, and we're clearing out every remaining in-stock vehicle with unbelievable deals. Spring into action because these savings won't last long. Apple Tree Honda, Western North Carolina's local Honda dealer and home of the Apple Tree Advantage. I-26 Airport Road, Asheville.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone, come back! It's my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life, come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This Medical Minute brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center. Expecting a new baby? At Haywood Regional Medical Center, we help deliver joy. And when you have a new addition to the family, you want to give birth in the place that feels like home. Haywood Regional Medical Center has private rooms for mothers and families so you can stay close to the ones you love. Tour our birthing facility in person and see the comfortable rooms where you can welcome the newest member to your family. And when adding a new baby, Haywood Regional Medical Center understands the importance of a personalized birthing experience. That's why we bring together a skilled team of doctors, nurses, and midwives right here in your own community for every delivery. In addition, to help ease your journey into parenthood, we offer classes for soon-to-be mothers and their partners so you can learn what to expect during labor, postpartum, breastfeeding, and newborn care. At Haywood Regional Medical Center, we'll help you and your newborn live your healthiest life. Visit myhaywoodregional.com to learn more or schedule a tour. This Medical Minute brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
From the Ingles studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, fun. That's fun. Enter it now.
Go to espnavl.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingles studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
3, 2.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. We still have the deal going if you want to claim the graphic of your team for the draft coverage tonight, Super Chat. You super chat us in the YouTube stream, and it doesn't matter how much. Just claim your team, and we put your message up there every time the little rotator comes around with your team on it. Just another way. We had very successful, fun, busy night last night with round 1 in the NFL draft, and tonight. Night 2 is going to be hot and heavy. We got 2 rounds to get through tonight, second and the third rounds. Joining us now on the program.
Breaking news.
Oh, breaking news. I wish I had the button.
Seth freaking Rollins will be announcing the Bears' second-round pick tonight.
I'm officially changing my fandom. I'm officially changing my fandom.
Oh, are you a Seth Rollins fan?
Tonight, yeah. Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm definitely hitting Jeremy in the back with a chair tonight, and that's when I make my turn.
That's the heel turn.
Happen. That's the heel turn for Cowboys neck.
Yep.
That's
Bear
pretty
down.
cool. That is one of the cool things about the second and the third rounds is we get a lot more of these. You know, here comes the legend making the pick, and so when you get to see like Drew Pearson come out and make a pick for the Dallas Cowboys, just knowing the fact that you're in the building with a guy like Drew Pearson or any of these other, legends that they bring out to make these picks it's a super cool part of the draft that I think, it really adds something for the fans.
Until the legend they choose is Deion Sanders to announce that his son Shador Sanders has been drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, and I burn the building down.
Well, I mean, that is quite the possibility. Because it wouldn't really shock me all that much.
It's not zero.
It's not. Yeah,
It's not zero.
It's not
That's
zero.
the problem.
It's not a 0% chance that is going to happen tonight. Look, David Smith. He was the only one of us that was thrilled.
I had a great night
with his team's pick last night as the New England Patriots fan, and they took Will Campbell at number 4, and then Will Campbell immediately came out and said, "Hey, Drake May, I will die for you, my friend."
give him whatever he wants. Ian.
I just heard like Whitney Houston songs.
Yes.
Like it just yes, all the things.
When Dumb's Cry was playing.
Can we go ahead and give him a 10-year contract extension right now?
Sign him
for $1 billion.
Yeah, $20 million a year. Best left tackle in the league. That is the kind of attitude that you want to see from a guy when he comes to your team, though. There's a difference between what Will Campbell did and what Shedeur Sanders does.
Just
every time there's a microphone in front of his face, it's all about me.
Don't confuse confidence for arrogance.
Exactly.
There's a big difference there.
Exactly. And while you sit here and look at, who's going to go first tonight in the second round, Shedeur Sanders' name keeps sitting there on the board, and I'm starting to think maybe there is a chance that he's going to sit there for a while if Jerry doesn't do it.
Well, we were actually just talking about this while you and Jeremy were on air just a bit ago. If it's not Vegas, get comfortable. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
Fire up the grill. You order some Uber Eats. Do whatever you got to do because it is going to be a minute.
At some point, it gets into Dion starts trying to call in every favor he's got because to me, this gets more and more embarrassing by the second.
Absolutely.
I will say unequivocally, Dallas takes him at the beginning of day 3 if he's still there.
Yeah.
Just because.
Right.
Just because it's Jerry's guy.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just end the pain and suffering and say, you can come hang out with Trey Lance if you want to.
I mean, he would immediately be the number 2.
Yeah, because who's our current number 2? You?
Yeah. Terrible. Whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but it's terrible.
Yep.
It's not good.
It's not.
I'm really looking forward to watching Jeremy's head explode when the Jets take Jalen Milroe.
Oof.
We just saw that.
That's a real mocked possibility. It's also not zero.
It is also not zero. It's like, when you have Justin Fields, I can't feel good that he's my only option.
I know they're saying, Jeremy says they don't want to take the shine away from him, but if you're going to take a quarterback that's a project, at least the ceiling is pretty high with Milroe. The floor is the floor. But you're at the basement. You're starting from not a lot.
But then I also get down the path of, and I get that maybe I'm overthinking this because the Jets don't seem to overthink things too much. But do you want 2 projects on your team at once? Because I don't.
For his sake, I just hope they get him help. Go get another receiver opposite Garrett Wilson and give him somebody else to look at.
Yes.
For Jeremy's sanity.
Yes.
I pray it's that.
It will be high on their list, no doubt about it. But as the name keeps falling, the more likely it becomes that he could end up on your team if you need a quarterback, and that's a terrifying scenario for those of us who don't like him.
There's not a lot of teams that need a quarterback that already haven't said, we're good.
We're good.
Cleveland had the chance. Cleveland everyone was like, you can go to Cleveland. Maybe not the first pick, but, maybe they'll get a second pick in the first round and they'll take them. They had 2 opportunities and they said no thanks on both.
Yeah.
And I think that means that they're good.
And
that's a Tyler Shuck.
They may pass him 2 more times.
Yes. That's a Tyler Shuck waiting to happen.
That's going to be wild.
Or I can't get away from thinking, well, if we're going to have 2 top 5 picks next year with the Jacksonville trade, see, that could be a 1-year possibility because with 2 top 5 picks next year, with the Jacksonville pick coming into play, again, if I'm not the worst team in the league, I have all the capital to be able to get to one to get Arch Manning.
You're going to have to fight the Saints for that because they are already they haven't played a game this year and they are already tanking for her.
The fans want to, sure.
Yes.
But I don't know that the Saints are going to be that bad.
Well, in that case, if you want to tank for first, take Shedeur Sanders. Go ahead and do it.
Well, no, because then you put yourself in the position of, we just drafted a guy last year. We can't do that.
But you missed in the first.
We're not going to Josh Rosen him.
Oh, no, you can do it. You could Josh Rosen him all day long. This league went from a league that drafted quarterbacks and you had to wait.
Yes.
You had to wait and see. It was like, we just drafted him. We're going to wait 2, maybe 3 years. To now it's like, he didn't win us a Super Bowl or a playoff game, so we're moving on tomorrow. There is no time. The league has gotten impatient. Tom Brady said it off air. Like, we've seen people who have come on that have been quarterbacks in this league before that say, they really should sit.
Yeah.
And we've seen evidence of guys who have had time to sit. Like Jordan Love, for all of his warts, really took a couple of steps because he sat.
But who did he sit behind?
A legend.
Right.
Yes. I'm not saying that I'm not saying you don't need someone in front that can teach them. I'm just saying sitting isn't a bad thing, but it doesn't happen anymore.
Right.
Too much capital spent on a first round guy. He has to play. If you're drafting a quarterback, in round one, he's got to play.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see how the New York quarterback room shakes out, because we were all under the impression that Russell and Jameis were going to compete, and they may throw a bone to Shador if he gets drafted. He could sit and wait and learn. That's not the case anymore. Now you went Jackson Dart and won.
Mm-hmm.
When's he playing? Week 10?
Maybe.
It'll be late.
If he doesn't play at all, I don't know that I care.
I think he has to.
Yeah, I mean,
once the season's over,
Listen.
right? Once you get to that point in the season where you get down to like week 15 and you've only won 2 games and we've fired everybody.
Drake May was every Patriots fan with a brain said Drake May needs to sit all year next year because the offensive line is terrible.
I remember saying that myself.
And Jacoby Brissett came in there, and he was not good at football.
Nope.
And I love the guy because he is a team player, and he took every one of those hits and said, I'm going to do this because I'm going to protect the young guy. And then they were like, you know what, we got to put Drake in.
Yeah.
You have to play your first-round quarterback. You don't have to play a second-round quarterback in year one. You don't. You can let him sit. That's a second-round guy. Third-round quarterback, fourth round. Those guys can sit. You cannot afford in today's NFL to have a guy sit if you draft him in the first round. Jackson Dart is going to need to start sometime next year or this year coming.
Usually the transition's bye week. I don't know what the Giants' bye week is, but I could see them prepping him for week 8, week 9, week 10, whatever.
Well, we will find out on May the 14th. Is that what they said? May 15th?
Something
like that.
It's either the 14th or the 15th. They announced yesterday that will be the schedule release.
It's going to be May.
It will be May. Indeed, it will be May at some point in the middle of May. They will have the schedule release, and we will find out. And of course, we will probably have our live coverage here in the Sportsocracy as we break down the schedules as they come out, as we tend to do each and every year.
There's one more thing. Sorry, about getting Josh Rosen. The difference in Rosen, he was a top 5 pick.
He was a top 5 pick.
And they still didn't give me any leash because they're like, oh, we want Kyler.
They said, we blew this.
Right.
Never mind.
So Shador's, again, if it's Vegas or New Orleans, it's 39-40, wherever they pick her, in that range, they could take him and realize we were right all along. Never mind, and still get your guy next year.
How many times have we talked about though that quarterback prospect that, or not even a quarterback prospect, just a player in general, that you're not worth the headache that you bring me, and that's exactly where Shador's at. All of the attention that you get from Shador Sanders is not worth the play that you get on the field.
I tell you that I wish that he was eating humble pie, but I don't think he is.
He's not.
I don't think he is.
It would take him going to day 3 for him to go, okay, maybe Dad was wrong.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I
don't
think that moment ever comes. I mean, there are some people who just, that is who they are.
Yeah.
Right. And not only if that is something that is genetically passed on from parent to child, even if that's not, that's how he was raised from the moment.
That's how he grew up.
Right, exactly. Like the kid
knows.
was plopped out by his mother, and within a month and a half, I'm pretty sure Dion had a damn chain around his neck and a football in his crib, and this is the #1 pick in the NFL draft. And unlike guys like us who have children and do the same thing, we're joking.
We're not Deion Sanders.
We're not Deion Sanders, who honestly believes that I am the greatest thing since sliced bread. I am one of the greatest players that ever touched a field in the NFL, and my spawn is going to be better than I was.
But Deion, I remember this vividly. He was turning away interviews like Shador because I'm not going to be there when you pick. The difference is Deion was that one-of-a-kind talent, and Shador's not.
Shador's
and I'm
not.
tired of saying his name out loud.
Exactly. I'm done with him for the moment. We'll have to talk about him again tonight.
Last thing, bold take, Quinn Ewers goes before Shador Sanders.
Ooh, I like that.
Because if Shador doesn't go to Vegas, I'm bye.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Bye. See you, bye. And then it's going to be Quinn Ewers like at the top of the 3rd or something. Anyway,
it very well could be because he is who he is. That's why the name keeps getting out there. But I'm glad nobody's jumped on that hand grenade yet, as far as NFL teams are concerned.
Hope the Eagles do it.
going to be ugly.
Nah,
That'd be nice, but they won't do that. They
Actually,
can
you know what? That's probably the one team that I wouldn't really care if they did or not, because who cares?
But they won't.
I have a Super Bowl winning quarterback already on my
Kenny
roster.
Pickett?
Not that one.
Super Bowl champion Kenny
No,
Pickett?
he's going to lead the Cleveland Browns to a game.
A game.
They're just going to play a game.
He's going to play football.
Maybe at some point he'll get a chance to play a game tonight. As far as the fantasy aspects go of last night's first round, you guys are our fantasy gurus. You can hopefully we'll be picking up our weekend fantasy shows again this year with David Smith on the YouTube. Hopefully Zach might be able to join us for some of those as well. He was our first fantasy guy on our the Game Time Decisions podcast that we launched early in this Sportsocracy process here. With what happened last night as far as fantasy players are concerned, what were you most excited about?
I like Travis Hunter immediately as the 101, and Genty is the 2. And if we're talking dynasty, like rookie dynasty, that's the first thing that jumped out to me. And Omarion Hampton dropped. That was the one that I was super pumped about. I mean, and don't get me wrong, we're talking fantasy football here, and we should put this kind of precursor out there. We're not talking about real football. Omarion Hampton's a phenomenal talent. He's a real, he's going to be an instant improvement to that team. But that torpedoes so much of the Chargers off. I think Zach and I were both kind of counting on Herbert having a big year, slinging the ball. We were looking at, how we were going to play some wide receiver games, get some people on there, and it just wasn't working out. You grab Omarion Hampton, and that changes the landscape of that offense, and it drops him way, way down.
Yeah, because year one, he's not going to be what you want him to be. Barring injury, everything is obviously in case someone in front of him gets hurt. Because if Najee Harris ate a buffet and wasn't able to play football this year, which could happen, but then Omarion Hampton, next year, he's top 5 overall running back, Omarion Hampton, if Najee's out of the way.
Yeah. That's
the difference. There's a guaranteed guy. They paid $10 or $12 million this year to come in and play this year. And I'm afraid they run him into the ground this year, so Hampton doesn't get what he needs for fantasy production.
Yes, which would be the perfect scenario to me for Omarion Hampton. We're talking football here. We want to win games, and we want to be good for the long haul. I am running the wheels off of Najee Harris.
I think you can.
And saving Omarion Hampton.
And for real football, I mean, you've got a Thunder Lightning combo here that will be great for them. And that
and I'm not
scheme wants
and I don't want anybody to get confused and I'm not talking about benching Omarion Hampton. I'm talking about just easing his touches, just like Tampa Bay did last year with Bucky Irving.
He doesn't need 304 touches.
No.
The opposite of what he did at Carolina.
Right.
Where they gave him 37 carries in one game.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't do that, Chargers. Don't do that.
Yeah, and I don't care if he's busting off 10 yards every time he touches it.
You don't
do that. Don't do that.
No, the big winner, I think, was Travis Hunter. He was the big jump for me. And only because you were late. Zach was waiting to hear how he was announced, because that'll tell you, one, it tells you the pay scale.
His pay band, yep.
Yeah, but 2, it'll tell you how they view him as a player. And it was wide receiver that was announced, wide receiver, cornerback. That order is important.
But wide receiver was first, yes.
Wide receiver is important. And I think we're going to see a different Jags team this year. I think that they got close, and I think that the comeback loss against the Chargers in the playoffs hurt them bad. I think mentally it hurt them bad, and they could not figure out how to get out of their own way. And I think we're going to see kind of a reversal of that into the talent that they actually have. I think we're going to see Hunter produce. Trevor's going to get back after him. It wouldn't surprise me to see Trevor go higher in fantasy football.
He's going to go too high.
People are going to reach. They're going to reach, but it wouldn't surprise me to see him go higher.
What percentage of offensive snaps will Travis Hunter play this year? That's my biggest concern. And why you said 101, and I'm like, until they come out and say he's our wide receiver 1, I'm all the way out.
And he'll never be.
I'm all the way out because I can't draft.
I have Brian Thomas Jr. He's never going to be my 1.
Right. And so I can't draft a wide receiver 2 on a mediocre offense. that might only play 50% of the offensive snaps. Best case scenario, I'm drafting a cornerback at the 101 in Dynasty. That's where I struggle
I'm out.
until
I get it.
And I'll just miss. Sometimes I'll go into a draft knowing that I might be wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong.
Right.
And that's the one, when you said that yesterday, I'm like.
Give me Caleb Johnson if he goes to the Bears. Give me.
That's a hammer.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Right. Give me Omarion Hampton to the Chargers.
Yeah.
I'll take Ted McMillan.
When we're talking dynasty, though, it's not one year that we're worried about.
Sure.
If we're talking about redraft, I don't need Hunter anywhere near the first round. I have no issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
I look at him and I go, you can play him, no problem. BTJ is going to get his. He's going to get fed. It does take a little pressure off of BTJ, a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some flash. It wouldn't surprise me if he's a touchdown threat. I think that he gets some play, and I think that team is better suited than everybody is giving them credit for right now.
And it's okay to be a 2.
It's great to be a 2.
If
you can have a fantasy football team of 2s and still win your league.
Well, and Tank is a Tampa Bay fan. He got to watch their current head coach as an offensive coordinator last year sling it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Chris Godwin was wide receiver 4 before he got hurt, and he's the number 2 on that team.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
it can be done. It's just if he's going to let Trevor Lawrence sling it, and he may have
But
to.
he's got to
because
be
they're
out
running
there
out of
he's got to be out there more than 30 snaps.
I do not love the running back situation there. It is a true committee, like a true 50-50 split. I don't love that at all.
That could change today.
It could change today. But today, right now, as of this show, while we are on the air, it is not.
Right.
And so if we're just talking about that, I look at it and I go, they're going to be throwing the ball. This is sunshine, letting it rip.
Yep.
Because, he's another one. Like, you've got to find out if T-Law is that guy.
It's the year.
This is it.
If it's not, they can move on next year.
This is it. This is their last.
I know they just paid him.
I was going to say, he's still got some years on that contract.
He does.
The money's made up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
Restructure and
Screw
eat
it.
it. Restructure and eat it. The salary cap is so big now, you can eat that money because the Falcons are getting ready to.
How much?
Well,
are
I mean,
they paying,
every
what's his name that they sent the head coach they sent away?
Yeah.
They're still paying him. Like
Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Well,
Doug
the
Peterson?
Doug Peterson doesn't affect your cap.
No.
You can fire the
No,
coach.
I know it doesn't figure. Yeah, I'm just saying the money doesn't matter.
Right.
Right.
There's too much money now in the league.
Shaq Khan does not worry about money.
No, I just
He's
mean
not
I mean
worried about money.
But with T-Law, I mean strictly from a cap perspective,
Yes.
it may hinder them based on. I don't know what his cap number is next year if they decide to move on. But we'll see.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Jacksonville Jaguars making the big trade at the top of the draft, going from 5 to 2 last night to get Travis Hunter. We will talk about more of the fantasy impacts of round 1 of the draft, and then get into some night 2 previews coming up next here with David Smith of Armchair Commentary, Cowboy Zach Hurst. I'm Tank Spencer, and we are coming to you live from Little Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, here on ESPN Asheville for the 2025 NFL Draft. We'll be right back.
About in 2025 and for Atlanta Braves, it's all about a fresh start.
1-2, he hits one well. Deep left field. Gonna head back to the wall. Boom! A 2-run home run.
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball all season.
Fly ball deep right field. Hanging high. Carrying back to the chop house. Look out!
The mountain's home for the Braves. Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
News has never been so important.
We've got breaking news from Capitol Hill.
And iHeart makes it so easy to stay in the know with 24/7 news on iHeartRadio.
A major breakthrough in medical research.
Live around the clock, so you're never more than 3 minutes away from the stories that matter most.
Extreme weather is impacting millions.
24/7 news, right at your fingertips with the free iHeart app, where you can now make 24/7 news a preset for even quicker access. 24/7 news on iHeartRadio.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks.
That's a good one.
Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful.
Wieners.
Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real
Ethan's Ballpark Wieners.
every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell,
And delicious moist moink balls in Tank's mouth.
experience, and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
The Sportsocracy.
I'm just living the dream.
Three, two.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It is the Eagles Living the Dream Tour coming to you from the Green Bay area of Wisconsin.
That's the way to say that. Yeah.
Yes, yes. We are not in Green Bay itself. We are about, 30 miles up the worst road on the planet Earth. It's worse than that road. It's worse than that road down in Alabama that's like the musical highway. Have you ever ridden on that one where the strips are there, and if you run over it at the right speed, it plays like the tune of Sweet Home Alabama or something stupid?
If you could imagine riding a backhoe at 65 miles an hour, it's that. That's what it's like in the back of the truck.
It is very true. That truck gets some. It almost gets air like every little section of road it goes on.
The rear axle's getting a workout.
No doubt about it. JW, we're going to have some maintenance done on the Parks Ford of Hendersonville truck when we get back. The shocks are a little strained from going on these bumpy roads.
There's a lot of cargo in
Green
that
Bay. That is true. Especially when there's 5 of us on the inside of it. Joining us on the hour here as Jeremy takes care of some other business. Of course, he will rejoin us tonight on Radio Row in Green Bay, live from the Reich Center, I believe is where Radio Row's at. The Reich Center? How do they say it?
Yeah, that sounds close enough.
It's Rich without a T.
Rich. Yeah, there you go. Whatever. David Smith of Armchair Commentary. Cowboy Zach Hurst, formerly of the Game Time Decisions podcast, joining us on the show as well. Jonathan Welch is here with us as well. He hasn't made an appearance. He's hanging out over on the couch. He's been doing the laundry and cooking breakfast and all kinds of stuff. He's like the back of housework here for the Sportsocracy on this trip.
He's a glue guy.
Yeah, he's a glue guy.
Real glue guy. Real glue guy.
He's, of course, you see him in the chat on the YouTube stream as well. He was dressed like he was going to a Seahawks fishing party last night. I know fish is real big up there in the Seattle area. That hat was phenomenal. I mean, that's like I've never seen a 10-gallon fishing hat before, but that's what that was.
It was the same size as that hat Shador Sanders had, but it was a bucket hat.
I think you could fit like an entire family under that hat. Just if it starts to rain, everybody just get under Jonathan's hat.
I'm pretty sure they measure hats in amount of walleye that can fit. It's like, this is a 4 walleye hat.
That's pretty good. It is night 2 of the NFL draft coming up tonight. We'll have the full coverage for you on the YouTube. The fun coverage will be on the YouTube. The serious ESPN national coverage will be heard on ESPN Asheville. The 6 o'clock start for the coverage tonight. And then we will have the full coverage of day 3 for you tomorrow on ESPN Asheville as well. And then again, the fun coverage on the YouTube stream with us 5 just hanging out here in the, what was it? I done forgot it. The Snake Trail Medicine Show. What do you call it?
Why you the old crow pterodactyl planet
Yeah,
place?
exactly.
No one knows where we are.
Snake Trail Pleasure Club. That's what it was. That's what it was. Last night, number 1 overall pick was a quarterback. Cam Ward goes to the Tennessee Titans. And does that have any fantasy interest for you?
If I have to play 3 quarterbacks, it does. No, I mean, he's fine. And I really like him long term. And Tennessee's going to build something there for the future. I'm glad they got the cold, dead body of Tyler Lockett to go help him out that we were talking about. Yeah. And I say that jokingly. I think Lockett's got more left in the tank than most people do because he's never been tackled. He catches the ball and falls down or goes out of bounds every time he touches it. He'll play till he's 63 years old.
Right.
Yes. I think...
And it's not a bad little weapon for a young quarterback to have.
He's so steady. You know where he's going to be every single time.
He finds that open hole in the zone, and away we go.
And Calvin Ridley's solid. If you can keep him out of the casino. I really like him too.
Right.
And I mean that I was so in on Ridley and got my heart broke so hard last year. So that's why I'm a little petty.
A little salty
about that. A little petty towards Calvin Ridley. And he was solid. He just wasn't what I wanted him to be.
Right.
So maybe all of that whole team steps forward this year. We'll see. Yeah. Because I love the running backs there. I really do.
Calvin Ridley, when he went to Jacksonville, balled out. And I think everybody was expecting that same thing in Tennessee. Tennessee did not have a quarterback to get him the ball.
And now maybe you
do, though.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Maybe the draft position can make him get there as far as fantasy goes.
Well, I mean, you certainly have a better talent. I've never been a believer in Will Levis. That was always Jeremy's guilty pleasure, was that Will Levis is going to be something one day. I can't wait around for Will Levis to be something one day.
He is something. He's a Mayo spokesperson.
That is terrible. He's awful.
That's what he is.
He's awful.
He just has zero awareness. Like, he would just get hit in the back so hard.
Yeah.
And he's like, dead. It was,
kind of like what I expect to see out of Shedeur Sanders if he ever makes it into the draft. No, he said the name again.
Or no.
No. So little fantasy interest in Cam Ward, especially for year 1.
It's just rookie quarterbacks in general. If they don't run, then they're probably not going to do what you want them to do.
Right. Tet McMillan went at 8, the wide receiver out of Arizona, to the Carolina Panthers. We had talked all through the process of the Carolina Panthers going with an edge rusher or something on the defensive side of the ball. But instead, they go and get a weapon for Bryce Young.
I'm a big fan of this. I think that Bryce took a step at the end of last year. We finally got to see some of what the expectation of when he was drafted.
Yep.
There was a lot of hope that this was going to be it. And it was like, come on, let's see something. And there was never anything. It'd be one game of 250 yards, and then the next game it'd be 75, and it would be terrible. And Tech gives you something.
Yeah.
Adam Thielen there to teach, because he's got whatever he's got left in the tank. It's not much. And then you've got Leggett and some other, you've got some pieces there to actually help out your quarterback. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those that I didn't think about Thielen being there and that being a thing until you brought it up to me last night, and now I like it more. It's just he can teach you the pro side of football because the rest of that room is young.
Very.
And he can teach you not necessarily how to run a route or to catch a ball or do those things because it's a completely different position where Tet's going to be. It's just the day-to-day life of a football player and
how to be in the league
and what it takes to succeed. Thielen being there, if Tet is open to the criticism and how to take it and how to learn and grow, he could be special.
Yeah,
I
love the catch radius on him.
Yeah,
I mean, that's Bryce Young. If he's not putting the ball on the numbers, Tet's going to get it. And that's what I like about him.
Actually, Johnny last night reminded me that Bryce Young's a California kid. So him and Ted will have the same vibe, I guess. They
kind of background.
They can bruh each other a lot.
Yeah. They definitely bruh a lot.
Yeah.
Ted McMillan is definitely a bruh guy. Colston Loveland at 10 to the Chicago Bears, and Tyler Warren at 14 to the Indianapolis Colts. Both are very intriguing rookie tight end prospects to me in fantasy.
And they're going to go in that order now. Tyler Warren's not the tight end 1 anymore in fantasy because Anthony Richardson can't throw.
Precisely.
That's the problem.
So, but Colts love their tight ends, and they'll manufacture touches for him, and this and that and the other. And Tyler Warren is a dog.
Absolutely.
He is. I love him and wish he'd have gone almost anywhere else. But Colson Loveland's going to be fun. I was kind of talking about it with Keenan Allen gone. I could see him and Roma Dunze both kind of popping in, popping out, being the big slot role because Loveland can play more of a giant traditional receivers versus being an inline tight end.
Mm-hmm.
He can block. Don't get me wrong. He's just not the Rob Gronkowski will break your head open block.
No, but this is the Sam Laporta piece that Ben was looking for, and I think that makes a difference on this offense.
Mm-hmm.
You're half joking, half serious about your Bears love transition now.
I'm pretending I'm not serious.
Yeah, I know, but it's starting to feel a little more real every day.
Man, if they draft, I know we hadn't got to day 2 yet. There's a running back. If they take, I'm gonna go buy a Bears hat in the pro shop that
Bear
day.
down, baby, bear down.
Yeah,
Loveland's gonna be great. I think that he's gonna be phenomenal. He's the tight end one, and if you're
as far as rookies go,
yeah, if you're looking for a dynasty like stash, you want a dynasty impact immediately, that's the guy.
He'll be
relevant.
He'll be overpicked because of Laporta and Brock Bowers.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And every year ever that wasn't the last 2 years, it's never happened before.
No.
But we got the tight end one, not rookie tight end one, the tight end one as a rookie the last 2 years.
Yep.
And it's going to shoot his price so high, I'm afraid I won't have any of it.
And we'll talk about this on Saturday.
Yeah.
Some strategies around maybe trading out of that spot and getting
Yeah.
a little more capital.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily know if you need to pick them, but it'll be an interesting show for sure.
It is the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We've got a super chat in the. Is it this one? That one. There we go. Super chat from Wheels for Meals says, "Can't watch, just supporting. Love, peace, and chicken grease." Well, thanks for popping in for us. We will obviously take all the super chats that we can get, all the support for the Sportsocracy. Living the Dream Tour on the road in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the 2025 NFL Draft. When we come back from the break, we will talk about tonight's fantasy impact players that could come off.
Let's
the board.
go.
We'll be right back.
ESPN Asheville. Your mountain.
I'll respond to Fran's. I just now saw that. I don't know why I did, but unless you did already.
Tonight, there will be areas of fog late with the low dropping down to 56. The wet weather pattern holds up into the start of the weekend ahead of a front tomorrow. There will be periods of showers and thunderstorms with a high of 76. The rain will move out on Saturday evening with a low dropping down to 50, and then a dry into the weekend on Sunday with sunshine and a high near 75. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Business owners can now keep in touch with up to 200 staff members at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints.
All right, I'll go check and make sure, but I'm pretty sure Good News is in the drive now, so they should all be in there.
So your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your.
I said, I just got Good News formatted finally and put it in the drive, so I think they all should be in there. I'll go double check though when we're done.
The best feature of a car radio.
What's her face back?
Fran, yeah, I know. I told her there was a problem with formatting with one of them, but we fixed it. So
go out today.
But yeah, I'll go make sure so she doesn't lose her freaking mind.
And we found out a lot of things about.
yet another reason why we should just be able to do it and get it done.
One of the best things to have around is a...
So when stuff like that happens, like nobody's breathing down my freaking neck, I'll figure it out and put it in there. Like, so dumb.
Answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave. Bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese.
You love those balls in your mouth.
Bread and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
The Sportsocracy.
You just gotta keep living, man. Livin.
3, 2.
And we're back on ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, live on the Ingles Living the Dream Tour in the mansion in Wisconsin. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings. Parks Ford of Hendersonville, providing the mobile studio, which is always a luxurious ride, no matter how bumpy the roads can get.
Yep. Boy, are they bumpy.
They are indeed. Again, if you're just joining us on the program, Highway 57 in right outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Worst road in America, I believe.
Even with that, it's been great.
It's no doubt about it. No, the whole experience of being up here has been great. It's that, people around here are fantastic, as you always hear. People from the Midwest are really nice people. Yeah, of course they are. Because they really want you to stick around. You're a new face that they haven't seen, and they're like, hey, we see the same 6 people all the time.
I can say this because I've been 15 or so stadiums in my Cowboys gear. I always get yelled at. I mean, not like I'm gonna fight you yelled at, but like a jab here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Not one yesterday.
That's pretty good.
And I really thought that would be a thing, and there was a lot more Cowboys fans here than I thought.
Yeah. I was going to say it'd probably be different if you were wearing Bears stuff.
I would have got mugged.
Mm-hmm. They hate the Bears.
I'd have gotten beaten, stomped on. So I'll wear
Minnesota Vikings to a much lesser extent than the Chicago Bears. It's you could tell if you were watching it with the sound on yesterday, which if you were, shame on you, should have been listening to us. But the roar or the boo from the crowd was deafening before the commissioner even got to the podium for the Bears pick. And then Minnesota came up and they were like, boo. It was very muted.
The hate is real for the Bears.
No doubt.
And it's not like a dislike. It's not like me and Jeremy going back and forth about Patriots, Jets nonsense. It's like real, generational hate and disdain that's been passed down.
It's Carolina Duke hate.
And
it's Yankees Red Sox hate.
Carolina
but
Duke
why?
hate.
They've been so bad for so long.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I know. That's the part I don't get, though.
Yeah.
Normally it's because they're competitive.
Nope, not here.
No, we just hate them. We just hate them. And that's all there is to it.
I know we didn't talk about this. Did you guys see the Clay Matthews thing he did?
I did not.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'll show it to you later. Clay went on stage and buried the Chicago Bears.
Did he really?
Yeah. It was wonderful. He had an envelope. And
I missed all of that, but I did see when he was on the stage, but that was when Johnny was with us.
Yeah, and I didn't get to see it live. I saw it last night. But, Yeah, I'll show you the video, Tank. It's absolutely wonderful. It's everything that we just said about the disdain for them.
Yes.
In one tiny little package.
It.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. All right, tonight, night 2 of the NFL draft. David Smith of Armchair Commentary, Cowboy Zach Hurst, our fantasy experts on the trip with us. And so as far as fantasy goes, impacts for tonight, we got a lot of weapons still on the board. Is there one, David, that you've worked out in your mind already? This guy's going to this team, and I got to be all over it next draft.
I am not even close to that. No.
It's because yesterday broke us all.
Yesterday we thought we felt so confident. We were feeling so good about everything, and then a whole bunch of defensive players and some offensive line guys went, and it was like, nope.
Now what?
So I mean, and this draft is deep. It's very deep, which means that today it's going to be a little nanners because the top flight guys weren't here. It's not the same as when you get 7 or 8 premium generational talent players at the top of the draft. We didn't have that this year. There's just a slew of people in that muddy middle from 20 to 80 that are all very, very good and could have a huge impact, fantasy and real football wise. Look, I've seen Jack Betch mentioned it a few times. You're looking at running backs to a particular landing spot.
Yeah, the real NFL has pushed down the value of running back monetarily to a point that it's laughable. And if those, I'll talk to Jeremy about this. Ashton Genty, on his rookie deal, will be a top 10 paid running back in the league. That's why they all got pushed down.
His guarantee is, I think, $32 million. It's
wild.
It's the second most guaranteed money for a running back in the league.
Wow.
So in my opinion, there were 3 to 5 running backs that are first round talent.
Yeah.
But they don't want to be paid like a first rounder. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to rounds 2 and 3 today, because then we get to scream to the rooftop about the guys that we're in love with.
Well, you got Travion Henderson as a guy that I like both of the Ohio State backs. Quinshawn and Travion, I think they both have really good NFL careers ahead of them. Caleb Johnson, we've talked about. He's, yeah, I mean, wherever he goes, he's going to get heavy usage early in his career. And if he indeed ends up being the guy that goes to the Chicago Bears, there's been that out there that Ben Johnson really likes him.
Or Dallas.
That's a move.
Or Dallas, yeah. Either one of them would be great landing spots for Caleb Johnson. It would immediately put him up there in that top 5 fantasy pick category.
Yeah, I'd be absolutely blown away if both Ohio State guys and Caleb Johnson are still there in the 3rd round. I would be like, what are y'all doing?
I feel like there's not a very good chance of any of that happening. No. How deep do you think we get into the wide receivers today?
I think it's going to be fairly deep.
I'm counting on my fingers for the guys that are listening on radio. Sorry, that's not good to listen to.
It's Higgins, Harris. Batch could go.
Burden will go. He's going to go higher than any. Jeremy's head's going to explode. Luther Bird's going to go in the top 10 picks today.
I don't know. Royals goes today. That might be the line. It might be 5.
No.
You think it's going to be more? I don't know.
I mean, there is.
You mean
there's buzz out there?
Just second.
Just in the 2nd round?
Oh, then maybe. I mean, 2nd and 3rd round, we're going to see 7 or 8 of these guys go off the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We'll have Kyle Williams, and I expect Torrey Horton to come off the board today.
Alec Maynard's going to go.
Yep. To me, that's where the line's at. The line's at
8.
Torrey Horton.
8 to 9. 8.5 is where I would set the line. 7.5, 8.5 is where I would set the line on how many of the receivers go today.
I think we're going to see a slew of running backs, and I think we're going to see a bunch of wide receivers. We'll see some corners that'll go too. Jeremy mentioned that in the first hour.
There's still so many good players left.
There's a lot of good players. So it's really, you kind of pick your poison. What are you trying to do here? What do you really want to do?
Yeah, in fantasy perspective, this is my day. It's going to be a blast.
We're pumped.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be on Radio Row tonight for the coverage live on YouTube. be sure to join us for that. As said last night, we ended up having a former NFL first-round draft pick joining us on the show.
So much fun.
We could have, a ESPN national host or two join us tonight. I'm definitely going to try to get Q Myers on the show with us.
I think we will.
Yeah, has been. He has hung out with us at the last 2 drafts. We actually met him at the Combine in Indianapolis last year. And every event that we've been to, it's been like, hey, how you doing? Like we're old friends. So
there were 6 people at our table last night. I think he'll be there.
Oh, he'll definitely be there. We already talked about it. That he'll be back there for tonight. As radio guys, and media guys, the biggest gripe about this weekend has obviously been the location of where we are. Green Bay is a very small market to do this in, and the fact that we weren't able to get on Radio Row to do shows early in the day really kind of grinds my gears. Yeah. And the fact that you have the midday ESPN national radio host in town, and no one wants to open Radio Row to let this guy do his show. He's doing his show right now from the Airbnb that he's staying in.
Because they won't let him, and they won't even let him until later today.
Right.
Like, it's going to be a mad rush today for anyone doing media today.
Yeah.
They're like, get in there, get set up, and hope it's right on the first time you try.
Yeah.
So it'll be.
It's going to be a rush.
Chaos.
It's going to be a rush once we're done with the program here. We got to hike it down to Green Bay and get set up for what is going to be a great night. There are so many valuable draft picks that are still available. Going through mock drafts of what today could look like, I mean, it's almost every pick is a guy who could be a starter in this league.
And will be now.
Yeah, and the second and third round today may be the best second and third round as far as the depth of talent that we've had in a long time in the NFL.
It's going to be so much fun, and we're not going to have a clue what's going on.
No.
That's why I like Jeremy's idea of doing the mock draft. Like, let's do that, and then set it on fire, because we have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
No, it's chaos.
And we will be doing that. We will be doing a second round mock draft before everything gets going today, if we can get in there and get set up on time and all that. Tight ends. That's the only group that we haven't talked about fantasy-wise. What's left today as far as tight ends are concerned?
I don't love what's left for high-end fantasy production right now on the tight end side of things.
There's one that I really like, and it's just to see what he could be, because he grew up in an NFL household.
Mason Taylor.
Yes. His dad's a Hall of Famer. His uncle's a Hall of Famer. And he's lived it his entire life, and he knows how to carry himself as a professional. You don't got to worry about that. It's just on the field. Yeah. And he's an athlete of athletes.
Mason Taylor, the tight end out of LSU. Elijah Arroyo is a guy that has gotten a lot of heat in the run-up to the draft here as well. Those are probably the only 2, though, I think.
And Harold Fannin Jr.
Harold Fannin, yeah.
That's the third.
You think he goes today?
He should. He should go today.
But the problem we're running into now is just how deep the draft is.
Right.
So it's like, should he go today? Yes. Will he go today? I don't know. Maybe.
It's such a wide range. I mean, you've got some people that Mason Taylor was their 3, and some that Harold Fannin's their 3, and Mason Taylor's their 6 at tight end. So you really just don't know. We have no idea.
Right. We will have the coverage of every pick for you tonight on ESPN Asheville. The ESPN national radio crew will be covering the radio side. We get a little bit more rowdy and more fun over on the YouTube stream. So check that out, thesportsocracy.com. Again, click that live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat throughout the night tonight. You can ask us questions, throw out ideas for content as we will continue to come up with fun things for us to do. We've got a new fantasy league that we're going to be launching this weekend on the coverage as well. We'll do mock drafts. We've got all of the ins and outs, and of course, all of the jokes that we can muster.
It's all we've been doing is telling jokes the whole time.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's all we've been doing. I mean, we are very professional
but
and
this
have
is
been
what
working
this should
hard.
be. This is what this should be. This should be fun. This shouldn't be stodgy radio.
We're having fun. so that the viewers and the listeners can also have fun.
No doubt about it.
We're trying to bring the fun to you.
That's right. That's right. The Sportsocracy live on the Ingles Live at the Dream Tour up here in Green Bay, Wisconsin for the 2025 NFL Draft. Live coverage tonight. We will get it all going at 6 o'clock on the YouTube and on ESPN Asheville. Have a great weekend. If we don't see you before then, shame on you, but we'll be back on Monday for the full recap of the NFL Draft on ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.